Yes, it's on BRC. Okay, great. All right, we're ready to go ahead and get started. Appearances from the state. Lisa Don Guerrero for the state. And for the public defenders.
Jay Salon, Public Defender's Office.
Jace Thompson for the Office of Public Defender.
Thank you. And from pretrial release.
Robin Guerra for Pretrial Services.
And from court interpreting.
Good morning, Your Honor. Rafael Barrera, State Certified Court Interpreter, previously sworn.
Thank you. We're going to start with Welmer Gomez. Can you please say your name, sir?
Por favor, dígame su nombre, señor.
Wilmer Gomez.
Welmer Gomez.
Mr. Gomez, you were arrested for aggravated battery domestic with a weapon.
Señor Gómez, usted fue arrestado por agresión agravada, violencia doméstica con un arma.
There is probable cause.
¿Existe motivo fundado?
Your bond will be set at $2,000
Su fianza estará programada en $2,000
with pretrial release.
con libertad prejudicial.
No contact with victim.
No se le permitirá contacto con la presunta víctima.
No return to any shared residence.
No puede regresar a ninguna vivienda compartida.
No possession of weapons or firearms.
No puede portar armas blancas o armas de fuego.
Do you need a public defender, sir?
¿Necesita usted un defensor público, señor?
I didn't see an affidavit, so I wasn't sure.
No vi un affidavit, por lo tanto no estaba segura.
Do you want me to appoint a lawyer for you, sir, or are you going to talk to a private lawyer?
¿Quiere que le asigne usted un abogado o usted va a contratar un abogado particular?
Sir, do you understand what we're saying?
Señor, ¿usted entiende lo que le estamos diciendo?
Sí.
Yes.
Would you like a court-appointed lawyer, or are you going to talk to a private attorney?
¿Usted quiere un abogado que le asigne el tribunal o usted quiere hablar con un abogado particular?
No sé cómo sea.
I'm sorry, Your Honor, I need him to
Can you
speak.
speak
Señor,
up?
alce la voz, no se le escucha, señor, por favor.
Que no tengo idea del abogado, o sea, no
I
tengo.
have no idea regarding an attorney.
Do you have the means to hire a lawyer?
¿Usted puede costear un abogado?
Do you work?
¿Usted trabaja?
Ya. Sí.
Yes.
Do you think you can afford to hire an attorney?
¿Cree usted que pudiera costear contratar un abogado?
Sí.
Yes.
Okay. If you decide that you need to file an affidavit later for the public defender, you can do that.
Si usted más tarde decide que necesita un defensor público, puede solicitar el affidavit más adelante.
He's indicating that he has the means to hire private.
He indicado que puede contratar un abogado particular.
Your Honor, even though we want to point it, I would just ask, would the court have any objection to just a straight pretrial release? I see that he has zero criminal history in or out of state.
Su señoría, aunque nosotros no hemos sido asignados, el tribunal estuviera opuesto a darle una libertad prejudicial directa, él no tiene antecedente penal.
Based on what I read in the affidavit, no.
Basado en lo que yo he leído en el affidavit, no.
Thank you.
Muchas gracias.
Jorge Bernabe. We don't have court dates, right? Nobody's getting dates today. This? Sorry, it got caught on the bottom. Sorry, these got caught on the bottom. That's okay. I went to lift it. It caught the edge. Good afternoon, sir. Please say your name.
Buenas tardes, caballero. Por favor, dígame su nombre.
Jorge Bernabé.
Jorge Bernabé.
Sir, you were arrested for domestic violence battery.
Señor, usted fue arrestado por agresión, violencia doméstica.
I read the affidavit and there is probable cause.
He leído el affidavit y determino que hay motivo fundado.
And your bond is going to be set at $1,000 with pretrial release.
Su fianza será programada en $1,000 con condiciones de libertad prejudicial.
No contact with the listed victim.
No se le permitirá contacto con la víctima indicada.
Maintain a separate residence.
Mantener una vivienda separada.
Do not possess any weapons or firearms.
No se le permitirá portar armas de fuego o armas blancas.
Sir, do you need a public defender or are you going to talk to a private attorney?
Señor, ¿usted necesita un abogado defensor público o usted va a hablar con un abogado particular?
Ok, yo creo que por lo de la fianza puedo, no sé cómo está la opción. Si
Well, I don't know what my options are regarding bond.
I just told you what they are. It's $1,000.
Ya le acabo de indicar, son $1,000.
Okay, I take it. I just want to see getting agree with my wife to see the baby. If there is no contact, I will respect that.
Is the interpreter going to translate?
I'm sorry, he was
Mira, solamente quiero llegar
Oh,
a
okay.
un...
I couldn't hear him at all.
Yeah, I could barely understand what he was saying.
Okay.
I knew it
So-
was in Spanish.
Sir,
So-
are you
so-
going to talk to a private attorney or do you need a public defender?
Señor, ¿usted va a hablar con un abogado particular o necesita que se le asigne un defensor público?
Speak up so that I can hear you.
¿Cuál es la mejor opción? ¿Cuál es la
Señor,
mejor
espere,
opción?
por favor.
Un momento,
¿Cuál es la
señor.
mejor opción?
Señor, espere, por favor. La juez le está indicando que por favor alce la voz para que se le pueda escuchar y entender. Muchas gracias.
Okay.
Dígame.
Sí, ¿cuál es la mejor solución para salir de esto?
So what's the best solution to get this over with?
I can't tell you that, sir. That would be a decision you have to make.
Yo no le puedo indicar, señor, esa es una decisión que tiene que tomar usted.
One more time, though, I'd like to ask you, what do you intend to do for an attorney?
Y una vez más le pregunto, ¿qué quiere hacer usted referente a un abogado?
Pues, tengo un defensor público, ¿no?
So give me a public defender then.
Do you work, sir?
¿Usted trabaja, caballero?
Sí, claro.
Yes, I work.
All right. I will provisionally appoint the public defender, but I need you to fill out an affidavit.
Le voy a asignar a las oficinas del defensor público de manera provisional, pero necesito que complete el affidavit.
All right.
¿Está bien?
Thank
That's
you.
fine. Gracias.
And Judge, we would just ask if he could have a one-time return to the residence if he bonds out.
Sí, señoría, le estamos pidiendo que si puede regresar una sola vez a la residencia tan pronto salga bajo fianza.
Yes, he may return one time with law enforcement to retrieve personal belongings.
Sí, se le permitirá regresar una sola vez acompañado de un oficial del orden público para recopilar sus pertenencias.
Thank you.
Muchas gracias.
Hector Argueta Gutierrez. Good afternoon. Please say your name.
Buenas tardes, por favor dígame su nombre.
Héctor Mauricio Argueta.
Héctor Mauricio Argueta.
I have a question for the clerk. This came in as a new law, as an arrest. I signed a warrant on this last night through the e-portal, and there's no warrant. I remember reading this fact. So did they not send you a warrant? Because I know I signed a warrant on this last night.
I think it was noted in the arrest affidavit, Judge, that you signed a warrant on it. I remember reading.
But it isn't attached, which is weird. So
Right.
is he being arrested because of the facts that law enforcement then put together, or is he being arrested on my warrant? Because the warrant's not here. It's just bizarre that it's not attached. And it's the paperwork as if it were a new arrest. Well, I read the affidavit twice, and I find there is probable cause.
Ya he leído la affidavit en 2 ocasiones, determino qué motivo fundado.
Sir, you were arrested for sexual battery.
Señor, usted fue arrestado por agresión sexual.
And let me review the PTR sheet.
Y déjeme revisar la hoja de libertad prejuicial.
There's an immigration detainer?
Yes, Sharon, he does have a nice little...
Sí, su señoría tiene un retén de inmigración.
Based on what I read in this affidavit, your bond is going to be set at $7,500.
Basado en lo que yo he leído en este affidavit, su fianza será programada en $7,500.
Ma'am, is there anything that you're going to want to say? Because if you do, I have to swear you in.
Yes.
Señor, usted va a querer... I'm sorry, I didn't inquire whether she needed the interpreter or not.
Do you need a Spanish interpreter?
My apologies, Your Honor.
Okay. So, please raise your right hand and speak right into the mic because it doesn't really pick up very well. Do you swear that any testimony you're going to give will be the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Thank you. Please lower your hand. Say your name.
Veronica Singleton.
I'm sorry, you got to be louder.
Veronica Singleton.
That was good. Thank you. Ma'am, you're the person who's listed in this affidavit as the victim, correct?
Señora, usted es la persona que está indicado en el affidavit como la víctima, ¿correcto?
Yes.
Sí.
Okay, and you're not obligated to say anything, but if you'd like to say something with regard to conditions of his release, you can.
A usted no se le obliga a hacer ningún comentario, pero si usted quisiera decir algo sobre las condiciones de la libertad de él, lo puede hacer.
The interpreter is going to translate what we're saying so that Mr. Argueta can understand.
El intérprete va a interpretar lo que estamos diciendo para que el señor Argueta entienda.
What would you like to say?
¿Qué me quisiera decir?
Basically, can you hear me?
A little bit louder.
Basically, I'm just afraid due to the fact that he's not legal here in this country that he will come after me and flee. That's my biggest fear.
Mi temor más grande es como él no está aquí en este país legalmente, que él me vaya a acosar o atacar y entonces se vaya a fugar. Ese es mi temor.
I am going to impose that he not be allowed to have any contact with you whatsoever.
Le voy a imponer a él las condiciones de que no se le permitirá acercarse a usted en absoluto.
Is there anything else that you would like for me to know?
¿Hay algo más que usted quiere que yo sepa?
Basically, it's just unclear of his mind state because he does have a drug issue.
Básicamente estoy preocupada por su estado mental porque él tiene problemas con las drogas.
Thank you for that information. Anything else?
Gracias
That's
por esa
it.
información. ¿Algo más?
All right. So the bond will be $7,500. No contact of any kind with the listed victim.
La fianza será $7,500. No se le va a permitir contacto con la víctima de ninguna clase.
You may not return to any shared residence.
No puede regresar a ninguna vivienda compartida.
You may not possess any weapons or firearms.
No se le permite portar armas de fuego o armas blancas.
You may not possess or consume any illegal substances.
No se le permite portar o ingerir ninguna sustancias ilícitas.
You may only consume prescribed substances in the manner in which they were prescribed.
Solamente se le permitirá ingerir medicamentos o sustancias recetadas de la manera que sean recetadas.
Sir, do you need a public defender?
Señor, ¿necesita usted un defensor público?
Sí.
Yes.
PD will be provisionally appointed.
Se le asigna al defensor público de manera provisional.
Thank you.
Gracias.
Since he has an ICE hold, is he gonna be released if pretrial
We
release?
have to wait. We
Eh,
have to wait for the ICE hold.
He
Como él tiene un retén de inmigración, él se le dará su libertad, tenemos que esperar.
I don't know what they're going to do.
Take up to maybe 24 hours, could take up to 8 to 24 hours.
Okay, so that won't prevent him from being released.
Right.
Okay,
Yeah,
I was just curious.
yeah.
Entonces se puede tardar de 8 a 24 horas.
Thank you.
Gracias.
Maridis Fernandez.
Bonded, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you. Juan Perez.
Sí.
Could you say your name for me, please, sir?
Dígame su nombre, por favor, caballero.
Juan Pérez Tomás.
Juan Pérez Tomás.
Sir, you were arrested for trespass after warning.
Señor, fue arrestado por presencia ilegal en propiedad después de aviso.
There is probable
Sí, mamá.
cause.
Existe motivo fundado.
Me estaba durmiendo en el laundry y nomás quedaba un día allí.
I wasn't sleeping there. I was only there for one day.
Could I advise him not to talk about the facts of the case?
Caballero, le están indicando que no hable sobre los hechos del caso.
Ok.
You don't qualify for PTR according to PTR's office.
Según la Oficina de Libertad Prejuicial, usted no cumple requisitos para la libertad prejuicial.
He has no history, is that correct?
Correct, Your Honor.
No tiene antecedente penal, ¿correcto, su señoría? Correcto.
Sir, how long have you lived in this area?
Señor, ¿cuánto tiempo lleva usted viviendo en esta área?
Lleva como 3 días, 4 días, pero nomás me pasó una cosa y me quedó allí, pero yo
I've only been
trabajo.
here 3 days and something happened to me, so I only stayed there one day.
Where are you from?
¿De dónde es usted?
Yo soy de Guatemala.
I'm from Guatemala.
I'm sorry, I meant where did you come from before you got to Orlando?
Lo que quiero decir es que ¿dónde estaba usted antes de llegar a Orlando?
Allí trabajando en un restaurante japonés. Y
Working at a Japanese restaurant.
Y aquí en mismo Orlando, pero no en ese área vivo.
And then here in Orlando, but not in that
Do you
area.
have family in Florida?
¿Usted tiene familiares aquí en la Florida?
No,
No.
Are you still working?
¿Usted sigue trabajando?
sí.
Yes.
Where?
¿Dónde?
Allí en construcción, en roofing.
There in construction and roofing.
Do you have some place where you can stay?
¿Usted tiene lugar donde quedarse?
Sí, ahorita lo consigo con mi amigo, porque tengo el número de teléfono a él, pero
Yes, I can with a friend of mine. I have his phone number.
But you don't know the address?
Pero usted no se sabe la dirección?
no, yo no tengo en la mente.
No, I don't have it on me.
What would PTR need for him to qualify?
Well,
¿Qué
Your Honor,
necesita la libertad vigilada para que él pueda cumplir requisitos?
when we interviewed Mr. Perez, he stated that he had no emergency contacts, that he was unemployed, and that he was transient. So he didn't give us any information as to him having the number. If he would have given us this information, we would have looked further into doing the pretrial release, but this is what he gave us.
Entrevistamos al señor Pérez. Él no nos dio información de contacto emergente, no nos dio dirección. Nos indicó que estaba sin vivienda. Si él nos hubiera dado esta información, hubiéramos investigado más profundamente, pero esto es lo único que teníamos.
Yes, sir.
Your Honor, it appears that he has no criminal history,
Su señoría aparenta que él no tiene antecedente penal
and we have an offer of a withhold and credit time served,
y tenemos una oferta de retención de adjudicación de culpa y tiempo cumplido,
which I would advise him not to accept because it could institute removal proceedings through immigration.
pero le estoy aconsejando que no lo acepte porque pudiera tener consecuencias de expulsión en la inmigración.
With all that being said, the defense will ask for an ROR,
Con haber dicho todo eso, la defensa está pidiendo libertad bajo palabra
as this is not a violent crime,
porque no es delito válido.
and I will give him our number so he can keep in contact with his attorneys.
Y le voy a dar el número para que se mantenga en contacto.
State, do you wish to be heard?
Fiscalía,
Judge, I'm uncomfortable with RLR at this point.
su señoría, me siento incómoda con libertad bajo palabra en este momento
Because of his status, but in light of the allegations and that it's not violent, I won't have any objections to RLR.
debido a su estatus y basado en la alegación y que no es algo violento, no creo que tuviera objeción.
My concern is he has no ties to the community and his likelihood to return is unknown at this time.
Mi inquietud es que no tiene enlaces a la comunidad y el hecho de que él vaya a regresar es desconocido en este momento.
But I would like for him to talk to PTR again, and if he could at least give the phone number for the friend to see if he can stay at that friend's house, I'd allow him to be PTR'd.
Pero quiero que él vuelva a hablar con el Departamento de Libertad Prejuicial una vez más y le pueda dar el número de teléfono de la amistad. Y si él puede vivir en la casa del amigo, es posible que pueda obtener la libertad prejuicial.
So bond will be set either PTR direct if he qualifies or $250.
Entonces, será libertad vigilada directa si es que cumple el requisito. I'm sorry, Your Honor, or the bond was...
Or $250.
Thank you. O $250 de fianza.
And either way, no return to the scene.
Y de todos modos no puede regresar al lugar de los acontecimientos.
Do you need a public defender, sir?
Usted necesita un defensor público, señor.
Sí.
Yes.
PD will be appointed provisionally.
Se asigna al defensor público de manera provisional.
Thank you.
Gracias.
Moisés Sosa Perez. Good morning, or, well, good afternoon, actually. Please say your name.
Buenas tardes, por favor, dígame su nombre.
Moisés Sosa Pérez.
Moisés Sosa Pérez.
Sir, you were arrested for trespass with refusal to leave.
Señor, usted fue arrestado por presencia ilegal en propiedad a negarse a marchar.
There is probable cause.
Existe motivo fundado.
Does not qualify for PTR.
No cumple requisitos para la libertad prejuicial.
Maybe immigration issue.
Posiblemente que tenga problemas con inmigración.
Previous arrests for municipal ordinance violations.
Tiene arrestos anteriores por incumplimiento de leyes municipales.
Previous conviction for trespass, June of 2020.
Tiene condena anterior por presencia ilegal en propiedad en junio del 2020.
Additional Florida convictions, resisting without.
Tiene condenas anteriores en la Florida, resistir sin violencia.
Disorderly intox.
Estar ebrio de manera... I'm sorry, Anna, give me a moment.
Disorderly intoxication.
Estar ebrio de manera interfiriendo con el orden público.
And previous trespasses.
Y tiene otras órdenes de presencia ilegal en propiedad.
Bond will be stayed at $500 with a do not return.
La fianza será programada en $500. No se le permitirá regresar al lugar de los acontecimientos.
Do you need a public defender, sir?
Caballero, ¿usted necesita un defensor público?
Sí, por favor.
Yes, please.
PD will be appointed provisionally.
Las oficinas del defensor público serán asignadas de manera provisional.
Thank you.
Muchas gracias.
Thank you.
And that's all for Spanish?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thanks.
Have a good morning.
You as well. Dontavious Spanner. Good afternoon, sir. Please say your name.
Yes, Dontavious Banner.
Thank you. Mr. Banner, you were arrested on a warrant multiple counts, burglary of a conveyance, criminal mischief, subsequent offender, petty theft with prior conviction. Bonds are $5,000, $1,000, and $1,000. It's just this one warrant, correct? All right, and
A warrant, Your Honor?
you do qualify for the public defender. Yes, sir?
It was a warrant, ma'am?
It is a warrant, yes, sir.
Well, how?
How? I don't know. I got the paperwork for the warrant that another judge issued.
Yes, ma'am.
Judge Calderon issued it. And there's also no weapons or firearms, no return to the scene, no contact with victims as per the warrant.
Yes, ma'am. Your Honor. Your Honor, I also have a 1-year-old out, and we're trying to do a custody. The mother ran off on me, and me and my mother, they need me. They need my consent to go down and to basically get my daughter, and we're having trouble with that. And I work. I was asking if I could go pretrial or something like that, Your Honor.
It's Judge Calderon's warrant, sir. I'm not going to change his bonds.
He's here
Yes, ma'am.
on a lot of cases.
Excuse me?
He's here on revoked cases. He's here on like maybe 6, 7
Oh,
cases.
so
Your
yeah,
Honor.
it's not
these are
just
add-on
this that he's in
charges.
on.
You're here on a lot of cases.
Yeah. I saw all these on here, but they said added.
Yeah, this is an add-on charge.
It's not a violation, it's an
Yeah,
add-on.
this is an add-on.
Okay.
He's here for other.
Yeah, you're gonna need to meet with your public defender and they'll talk to you about what your options are.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Jamie Ferrer,
Your Honor.
good afternoon. Please say your name.
Jamie Ferrer.
Thank you. Mr. Ferrer, you're here because you were arrested on a warrant for failure to appear. The judge who issued that capias set your bond at 0. You do qualify for the public defender, so PD is appointed. Thank you.
How about
Pierre Deshawn Morgan.
how about the 209? How much is the letter slate?
I have no idea what you just
But
said,
the
sir.
415 coming for.
Thank you. Good afternoon, sir. Please say your name.
Pierre Morgan.
Thank you. When I received this paperwork, it looked to me like there was a 24-hour pass on one count. The other counts, probable cause had been determined, but we were waiting to see if there was any supplemental information on count 2. So I'll ask the state, because I read what I had, and it doesn't look like anything was supplemented.
No, Judge, we were unable to get anything additional.
So he's going to be ROR on count 2. But the other counts are what, I don't know who, I think it was Judge Carter who saw him.
Yes, Judge
The other counts are whatever Judge Carter set them at when she previously IA'd him. Excuse me?
I don't bond on 2 cases.
She didn't do anything with those?
No, she didn't.
Okay. Again, I thought I was only considering whether or not there was supplemental information with regard to the count she didn't find PC on. Let me just look through here. That's this one. 20 mm 1630AO, which is a trespass, and 20 CF 3008AO, which is carrying a concealed firearm, correct?
Yes, Your Honor, the defense will ask one of 2 things. Either we would ask the court not to take any action on the out on bond charges, or if you feel like taking action is appropriate, we would ask that those bonds be revoked and possibly doubled.
Let me look at his history sheet. No previous Florida convictions. Out-of-state conviction 2017. State, do you wish to be heard on that
Judge,
request?
I would ask that those bonds be revoked because he was out on bond on carrying concealed weapon.
I can't hear you.
I would ask that the bonds on the previous cases be revoked.
Do you know when he was released? It looks like, what, February? Am I reading that correctly?
I don't know, Judge.
I can check your, I just can.
No, I think the sheet, it's a kind of a blurry sheet, but it looks like February on one and perhaps March on the other. So 2 separate charges, 2 separate case numbers, 2 separate dates. Bonds are going to be revoked and set at 0. You're going to need to file a bond motion in front of Judge Beamer. But ROR on count 2.
Yeah, like
Thank you. Christian Rodriguez. Good afternoon, sir. Please say your name.
Sorry, I'm judge for the other case, count 1, I think it was 150. Did you change?
I didn't change anything on these. I left them as Judge Carter found them. I was only considering whether or not there was a supplement on count 2, but then I revoked his bonds on the other cases that he was in.
So the bond on count 1, is it still at 150?
Yeah, I'm not changing Judge Carter's bonds.
And then 3 and 4 is 150?
Correct.
Okay.
Hi, please say your name.
Hello. Hi, my name is Christian Rodriguez.
Thank you. Mr. Rodriguez, you were arrested on a warrant for failure to appear. The judge who issued that warrant gave you a bond. It's $500. So if you can post that, you can get out. I'm going to order that you not return to the scene. Just make sure the scene of the underlying charge. And you do qualify for the public defender, so the PD is appointed. Okay?
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Gregory Gordon. Good afternoon, sir. Please say your name.
Gregory Gordon.
Thank you. Mr. Gordon, it looks like you were arrested for disorderly conduct. There is probable cause. There is a PTR sheet here.
Can I please get sentenced now? Can I plead and get sentenced now?
Hold on one moment, sir. I'm trying to read this. I'm sorry, what was your question?
Can I plead and get sentenced now?
Can you plead and get sentenced? Is there an offer from the state?
Judge, is this a city ordinance case? So I don't know if...
It's a disorderly conduct. Yeah.
Generally, the city, if it's a city ordinance violation, the city prosecutor handles that. So I don't know if I have any authority to...
Do they ever come to these weekend IAs? The PDs know?
Not to my knowledge, you know, Mr. Do
The city attorneys ever come, or is there a standing offer from the city or the county attorneys?
It's usually a standing offer, like they never come.
Does the clerk know? Does the city attorney, there's never a standing offer? Okay. Mr. Gordon, you can plead to the bench. I don't have the city attorney here. I'm going to go out on a limb and say that I don't think that they would mind if I took a plea to the bench.
What that be put mean? To the bench mean?
I'm sorry, sir, I can't hear you.
What does plead to the bench mean?
That means you plead guilty and you leave it up to me.
Can I plead no contest and leave it up to you?
Yes, you can plead no contest.
No contest.
You want to do that?
Yes.
You want to talk to a public defender at all to make sure?
Not necessarily.
All right. Can we give him a plea form, please, sir? Take your time if you need to read that. I need you to sign it.
There's a whole bag for us.
Is he able to maybe step back to the wall with that? Then I can go on to the next person, which is Daniel Bellows. They won't bring him in? Oh, okay. So we don't, the clerk is telling me we don't submit the plea forms anymore. Got it. But he can read it, and when he's done, let me know. All right. So State versus Daniel Bellows, appearance of counsel for the defense.
Donald Lickerback, Your Honor.
Thank you. Sir, your name, please?
Daniel Bingham Bellows.
Thank you. And Mr. Bellows, you were arrested on a warrant for aggravated battery domestic. This is a warrant that I read last night, so I have read it, although the warrant narrative, the affidavit, is not attached. Ma'am, do you wish to speak?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, can you please raise your right hand? Do you swear to tell the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Thank you. Please lower your hand and say your name.
My name is Jean Marie Reynaud.
Can you go a little bit closer?
My name is Jean Marie Reynaud.
And are you the person who's listed in this police report as the victim?
I am.
What would you like to say, ma'am?
I would like to say that I'm not afraid of Dan, and I would ask that there be no hostile contact allowed. Also, I would like to stay in our home with our son, and I'm not opposed to him coming in with my permission.
Where did you find out that you could come and ask for no hostile contact? How did you learn of that?
I was a state prosecutor.
Okay. Most people don't know that. All right. Does the state wish to inquire of the witness?
She covered it, Judge.
Okay. Does the defense wish to inquire of the witness?
Yes, we do, Your Honor. Ms. Renault, you have come to a residential agreement with Dan, the defendant?
I have not, but I know he did offer that I could stay in our home.
Okay. Now, you've currently been living in Winter Park at 411?
I have.
West New England?
411 West New England, the third floor.
All right. You've been living with Dan, your son Jack, and your father?
Yes.
Correct? Since this episode, you left the house.
I did. I went to a friend's house.
You left Jack with Dan and your father.
That's correct.
So the three of them have been living for this past week, and you've been separate.
That's correct.
All right, now, you've made arrangements to move into another house,
I have.
and that's going to be in January?
It should be the first week of January by the 8th, no later than the 10th.
So you, Jack, and your father will be leaving the 411 address
We will.
in the first week of January.
After by the 10th.
And until that time, what would be your preferred arrangement?
I would prefer to stay there with Jack and my father.
Now, Dan's office is also at 411 West New England, right?
I understand, yes.
All right, so that creates an awkward situation there. What is your suggestion on how to get around that?
Like I said, I just ask for no hostile contact. I'm not opposed to being around him if he asks and I give him permission. I have no opposition. I'm not opposed to
You're
that.
just fine with no hostile contact?
Correct.
Okay.
Your Honor, do you have this application and affidavit for warrant?
For the warrant, I do not. I don't have it attached. It's not in this paperwork, but I recall more or less the accusations that were laid out when I signed the warrant.
Well, the problem is, of course, we're entitled to confrontation.
I'm sorry, counsel, I can't hear you.
We're entitled to review of those facts today. We don't have anything.
Okay, did you make inquiry of the clerk's office? Because I don't keep track of the records. It's the clerk's job to have those papers.
Well, this was generated just yesterday, and the clerk doesn't have it here today. So, I mean, case is called for initial appearance, we don't have it.
I can
I'd
roll
like a
his,
copy of
I
it.
can roll this to tomorrow, counsel, if that's what you'd like, to make sure that you get a copy of it. I just don't have it.
Well, I understand that would be awkward, and I'm not interested, I'm just interested in getting a copy for the defense.
Your Honor, excuse me, I have a copy of my affidavit, and I'd be happy to share.
I don't think that's what he's talking about, though. He's talking about the paperwork that the police officer put together to submit for the warrant, so that he can read what the allegations are in the warrant.
Okay.
I just don't have a copy
Well,
of the
it would
warrant
be
attached
helpful
to
if
my
you would give
paperwork.
that to me, and
Excuse me?
that would be helpful if she would provide that to me.
Well,
and
I'm not
that'll
going to order her to
satisfy
provide anything to you. You can talk to the state attorney can provide it to you.
Judge, I also don't have a copy, but we're in a interesting situation because Your Honor did review it last night, and similar to the other warrant case, the affidavit is just not attached to the paperwork today, so.
I will tell you this, most of the time, warrants are not attached, the affidavit for the warrants, only in the domestics, because they come in at zero bond, but the court is obligated to consider setting a bond. So they should be attached to the domestics so that the IA judge, who was maybe not the judge who signed the warrant, can know what was being said. I don't know where it is. I'm sorry. I get it electronically, I read it electronically, and I send it back electronically. So I don't have a physical copy of it. That's the clerk's responsibility to keep records of the things that get filed, and the state's responsibility thereafter to know what the accusations are. I don't have it. If you all would like to roll this to tomorrow, we can. If you would like me to proceed with IAs today, we can. Whichever you prefer is fine.
We're satisfied with that, Judge.
Sir?
We're satisfied with that.
Okay.
But I think another question needs to be asked, and that is, what is the case number on this case?
Case number?
Yes.
It looks like 20 CF 14461 AO.
Okay.
14461 AO is what the clerk wrote on the top of this sheet. Does that
I
help?
would suggest that's the number then that was on the paperwork that you reviewed and signed the warrant.
No. The warrants come from law enforcement, and then once they're signed, they get filed and the clerk assigns a number. The clerk doesn't assign a number until the warrant is issued.
But they assigned that number.
They assigned this number, yes.
Right.
Because I get warrants all the time, I may not sign them. If I don't find probable cause, I send them back unsigned, so we don't give case numbers yet.
I knew that this had been submitted for signature of the judge by the Winter Park Police Department. They asked me to arrange to have my client turn himself in at the Orange County Jail once they knew that apparently you had signed the warrant. We waited to do that, to turn him into the county jail last night. Then I got a call from the division chief.
Ma'am, let me pause you for one moment, please. Is it me, or does it sound like these microphones are not on? What I'm hearing you say, I'm hearing you from your voice. It doesn't sound like the mics are working.
Yeah, this one is.
I hear the crackle, but it's so hard to hear. And this is my good ear.
So you're underneath the.
I don't know. I just can't hear it. I'm sorry. And I want to make sure I don't miss what you're saying, counsel.
Okay. Hold my mask.
It's the mask, it's the screen, it's the fan.
At about 5:30 last evening, the Winter Park Police changed the plan. They called me up and said, the judge hasn't signed the order, or it isn't in the system. So will you bring him or send him to the Winter Park Police Department? Which we did. And that is how they arrested him, on their own affidavit at that time. And so instead of waiting for your warrant, they arrested him and turned him in last evening.
Arrest warrant.
Yes. The question is, when he got turned in to the Winter Park Police Department and they turned him in at the jail, at the jail, did they generate another number? Are there two case numbers assigned to this one man for this one offense?
The clerk is shaking her head no. That this
Okay.
is the only case that's open in the name of Daniel Bingham Bellows
Very good.
that we are aware of.
That's what I was concerned
Okay.
about.
Sir, based on what I read in this affidavit, based on the evidence as presented before the court today, I'm setting bond at $2,000 with pretrial release. No contact with the victim, but for written communication as it pertains to your child.
I think she wants no hostile, Judge.
But that's still up to me. I'm not going to allow the contact to happen based on what I read in this affidavit. So they may communicate in writing through electronic means as it pertains to information regarding their child. He may not return to the marital residence until after January 10th, at which time she's indicated she will be out of the residence. If PTR confirms that she's out sooner, he may return as soon as they confirm she's out.
Well, that,
Your Honor,
And I don't want him to possess any weapons or firearms. Yes, ma'am?
may I state something?
Yes?
I've made plans to leave the state from December 24th through December 30th.
Okay.
So I don't know if you want to allow him back into the home at that time.
I don't, because that's going to be really confusing to let him in, let him out, kick him out, back and forth. January 10th, you said, is the latest that you would be there. After January 10th, he may return, but it may be sooner if PTR can confirm she's permanently left. But not back and forth, because it's too much room for somebody to get in trouble.
Thank you.
All right.
Well, Judge will need access to get to his office and get his work material.
He can have a one-time assist order with law enforcement. He can retrieve either his work documents or his personal belongings, clothing and things like that, but he has to be accompanied by law enforcement. That's no problem. We could do that.
Do we have any?
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Okie dokie. That brings us to Robert Hammett. Oh, back to, yes, sir. Back to Mr. Gordon, correct?
Correct.
All right. Mr. Gordon, can you please raise your right hand, sir? Do you swear to tell the truth, so help you God?
Yes, I do.
Thank you. Please lower your hand and say your name.
Gregory Gordon.
Mr. Gordon, did you have a chance to read over that plea form?
Yes, I did.
Did you understand the rights in the form?
Yes, I do.
Do you have any questions for me, sir?
I don't know anything about the case.
I don't understand what you're saying.
Do you know anything about the case?
Yeah, I don't understand.
Do you know anything about what happened?
Do I know what happened?
Yeah.
I know what the police report says only, sir.
Okay, that's good.
Do you have any questions for me about your plea?
No, I don't.
Are you sure this is something you want to do?
Positive, yes.
Okay. Do you feel like anybody forced you to make this choice?
No, it's my free will.
Are you acting under the influences of any medications, drugs, or alcohol?
That's just my knowledge now.
That's a no?
No, it's a no.
Okay. If you are not a U.S. citizen, entering a plea would be used as a reason to have you deported. I know that might not apply to you, but I have to say it to everybody. Do you understand?
Yes, I do.
You have the right to an attorney, and if you cannot afford to hire a lawyer, I will appoint one for you if you qualify. By going forward with your plea today, we're going to wrap this up today, which means you're not going to have more time to talk to a lawyer. Are you okay with that?
Perfectly fine with it.
Okay. How do you plead to the charge?
No contest.
All right. The court will accept the no contest plea. I have reviewed the affidavit that has been submitted by law enforcement in this case, and I find that there is sufficient probable cause. Specifically, it's alleged that on December 5th, 2020, in Orange County, Florida, within the city limits of the city of Orlando, Mr. Gordon was involved in an altercation that provoked or in which he engaged in a fight, a brawl, or riotous conduct. And so I will accept your plea.
Thank you.
At this time, the court will adjudicate you guilty and sentence you to credit time served.
Thank you very much.
Court
Your Honor.
costs are $223. How are you all handling that when people don't have ability to pay? Or limited ability to pay?
They give them a year to pay it.
A year? All right, payable within 365 days.
Thank you, Your Honor.
30 days to appeal your sentence. All appeals must be in writing. If you cannot afford a lawyer, I will appoint one if you qualify.
Thank you very much, Your Honor.
You're welcome. Good luck to you, sir. And the court is not going to appoint the public defender so that he doesn't get assessed the fee. Robert Hammett. Good afternoon, sir. Please say your name.
My name is Robert Hammett.
Thank you. Ma'am, do you wish to be heard? Yes? Okay. So, Mr. Hammett, you are here for an arrest regarding domestic violence battery and tampering with a witness or hindering a witness to communicate. There is probable cause. Ma'am, can you please raise your right hand? Do you swear to tell the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Thank you. Please lower your hand. Can you lower the mask since you're in the room by yourself and then talk right to the mic?
Okay.
Hi, what's your name?
My name is Liu Jie.
A little bit louder.
My name is Liu Jie.
Okay, ma'am, you're the person who's listed in the paperwork as the victim, correct?
Yes.
Okay, what would you like to say?
Well,
You don't have to say anything if you don't want to.
I want to. I want to say something.
Lower down to the mic.
Okay. So what happened last night is the argument based on the money problem. And we have money problem right now, so it's like tight for us. Sorry, my language is not that great, so I will try to make myself clear to you.
No, you're perfectly fine. I understand everything you're saying. No problem.
Okay, so like what I said is based on the money problem. We have argument, and also we just got married for 2 years, not like almost 2 years, and we have different culture. So I think he's a little bit misunderstanding when I talk about the money problem. It's not insulting, so he's mad. I understand. I'm not mad about that part, and we argued a little bit, and he didn't hurt me. He didn't push me or something. I just I can't balance, so I fall under the bed by myself, and I thought he tried to hurt me. I'm a little bit overreact, so I was a little bit like I guess I hurt my head. I'm not clear about everything, so I just still overreact, and yeah. I also want to say I'm sorry. I bite his finger while he tried to help me just stand up, and I just hope that there's no punishment for that, and we will try to figure out how to communicate in the future.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. State, do you wish to inquire?
Yes, Miss Liu?
Yeah.
Did you want contact with him again?
Yeah.
You do? Are you,
Yeah.
so you're not in fear for your safety?
What is in fear?
Are you scared of him?
No, it's just the problem. Like when we try to argue, like I think both of us are a little bit misunderstanding each other. That happens.
Do you have any do you want him to come back to the house?
Yes.
Has there been any issues before this?
No.
This is the first time.
Yeah, the first time.
And you're not scared of him?
I'm not scared of him.
Okay. I have no further questions, Judge.
And for the record, he doesn't qualify for the public defender. He filled out an affidavit and he's deemed not indigent for purposes of court-appointed counsel. Ma'am, I will tell you this. You are correct, I believe, that people argue in marriages. It does happen.
Yeah.
But regardless of the reason why people are having struggles, nobody's supposed to put their hands in an angry way on somebody else. No matter what the issues are, money problems or otherwise, that doesn't give either one of you, and I wasn't there, so I can just tell you what I read in the police report, but it doesn't give either of you the right to put your hands on the other person out of anger or frustration. So it's not a cultural thing. That should be true through every culture, I wish, although I know enough to know that that's not true in some cultures. So I don't want you to feel that you have to apologize for something he did. Of course, you can apologize if you say you did something, but it's never an excuse for somebody to get hit or hurt or pushed
I'll remember.
or angry.
Yeah,
I just want to make
thank
sure
you.
that we're all on that same page. All right, bonding count 1 is going to be set at $1,000. Bonding count 2 will be set at $2,000 with pretrial release. No hostile contact with listed victim. May return to the marital residence, but in a non-hostile environment.
Your Honor, we did qualify Mr. Hammett for straight pretrial release? No? Okay.
No, not based on what I read.
Okay.
Do not possess any weapons or firearms.
No.
And as I said, so you don't qualify for the public defender. You'll have to decide if you're going to hire a private lawyer.
Okay.
All right? Thank you. Mohamed Khan. These domestics, they just take a little bit longer. Good afternoon, sir. Please say your name. Look here. Don't look there. Look here. What's your name?
Mohamed Khan.
Thank you. Mr. Khan, you were arrested for aggravated battery domestic. There is probable cause. You do qualify for the public defender. Ma'am, do you wish to say something? All right, can you please lower your masks? You're in the room all by yourself, so I just want to make that clear for the record. Raise your right hand. Do you swear to tell the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Thank you. What's your name?
Valini Singh.
I can't hear you.
It's Valini Singh.
Okay. Are you the person who's listed in this affidavit as the victim?
Yes.
Okay, what would you like to say, ma'am?
That we've been together for a year, and I'm not afraid of him. I mean, it's the first time he did this. So, you know, it's just a push, and I did push him too. So, I'm not afraid of him.
You're not afraid being 6 months pregnant if you get pushed and you fall the wrong way and fall on your belly?
Yes.
As you heard me say to the lady before you, whatever the situation is, when people get frustrated, it doesn't give either party the right to act out angrily. And the fact that you're pregnant, according to the police report anyway, is even more serious because it's not just you we're dealing with, it's the baby you're carrying that we're dealing with as well. And that's a very high priority. Anything else you'd like to say, ma'am?
That's it.
That's it? Okay, thank you. State, do you wish to inquire?
No, Judge, but I am concerned about her pregnancy and the contact between the two of them.
All right, defense, do you wish to inquire of the witness?
Yes, Your Honor. Ms. Khan, do you want contact with Ms. Singh, do you want contact with Mr. Khan?
Yes.
If anything happened, would you call 911?
Yes, I will.
No further questions, yeah.
Are there any other children in the household?
Yes, I have two.
How old are they?
A 17-year-old and a 19 months.
17 and 19 months. Okay. And you said you've been married for how long?
No, we've been together for a year.
A year, I'm sorry. Okay. All right. Well, according to PTR, he doesn't qualify for PTR.
Ron, we didn't have the opportunity to interview Mr. Khan yet. If you want to do bond or PTR, if qualifies.
Well, I'm not going to do straight PTR,
Okay,
but I was going to do PTR with bond.
Okay.
So is that still a
Yeah,
consideration?
you can do that.
PTR
Yes.
with bond?
Yeah.
Counsel?
I was just going to say that Mr. Khan has no criminal history, so we would ask for a straight PTR.
He wasn't interviewed, so we don't know that he
Right.
qualifies
Yes,
yet.
Your Honor.
I'm going to set bond at $1,000 with pretrial release. No hostile contact with listed victim. May return to shared residence for so long as that's what the victim wants. Do not possess any weapons or firearms. Thank you. Christina Barisi.
Hi.
Good afternoon. Please say your name.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. My name is Christina Barisi.
Thank you. Ms. Barisi, you were arrested for violation of a pretrial release condition.
And Judge, the defense is contesting probable cause in this case.
Okay?
There's no, it doesn't state in the affidavit what the violation of the pretrial release condition is. It just says that she violated based on the evidence. It doesn't say anything about what the violation is. Spoke to the state about this. They did say that they're going to be asking for more time.
Okay, well, let me take a look at this real quick. My understanding when I read this was that she's out on a domestic violence battery, and a condition of that was no contact, no return. It says, upon my arrival, made contact with the male at the front door, looking for Christina. He said he was her father. She was in the bedroom. Asked if he could go get Christina so we could have a conversation. Female came to the door, identified as Christina Barisi. Christina placed under arrest, transported to the jail, charged with conditional release. Court order documentation against her from the victim that she was not allowed to violate the court order based on my investigation from the evidence Christina did. So your argument is that it doesn't say how?
Yes, correct.
Okay. State?
Judge, I looked at the 20 mm 562A, which I assume that's the no contact, and I believe in the IA paperwork, in that case, it says no contact with the mother, Teresa Barisi. So this affidavit doesn't mention anything about the mother. I know the father came to the door, so I did tell defense, I brought it to their attention that I don't think that there's enough PC, but I would be requesting.
So you're not asking for a 24-hour reset?
No, I am asking for more time.
Okay.
Your Honor, I have a copy of that paperwork. The victim, the mom was the victim in the last case, but she is residing with the dad, but this is just a copy of the initial paperwork from the last case, no contact.
Okay. All right, yeah, go for it.
Right.
Copy of that.
But the state attorney is correct that the affidavit for the new arrest doesn't say where mom was.
But if mom's here, I
She
can
is.
inquire of mom.
Yep. Ma'am, can you raise your right hand, please? Do you swear to tell the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Thank you. Please lower your hand and say your name.
Teresa Barisi.
And Ms. Barisi, are you Christina's mom?
Yes.
Okay, state you may inquire.
Okay. Ms. Barisi, you were also the victim in a domestic battery case, 20 mm 562A from November 5th of 2020. Is that correct?
Yes, there were a couple other times also, October 6th.
Ma'am, I'm sorry. Can you speak up a little bit?
There was another one October 6th and November 3rd.
Thank you.
For today, we're just going to talk about the one November 5th that your daughter got arrested on, that the judge ordered her not to have any contact with you, right?
Yes.
Okay. Since her arrest on November 5th, 2020, has your daughter had contact with you?
Yes.
And what kind of contact does she have with you?
She's taken her father's phone and texted me repeatedly. She also came to my house, to my front door with her boyfriend when I was not home, and they attempted to enter my front door. I found it on the Ring camera, and I provided it to the police.
And when you said that she texted you, how did you know that it was her that was texting you?
Because she texts quickly. Her father's 74 years old. He can't text quickly and he can't spell. So I knew that was her. And she also asked me for her cats back and personal things that identified her.
Personal things that only she would be asking you for? Correct?
Yes.
Okay. And she was living with your husband, so she would have access to your husband's phone?
She was removed from my house on an unlawful detainer that I filed, and she was removed and she went to live with her father.
Okay. And was she also ordered not to return to your house?
Yes. She was ordered that she could come to my house one time with law enforcement to get her items. She failed to do that. So she came on her own. She also sent her boyfriend and a friend to come. The boyfriend was also evicted from my home, so he shouldn't have been on my property.
Okay.
So I had to call the police several times.
And your house is located, was it the 352 Kentucky Blue Circle?
Yes.
Address? And since after November 5th, 2020, you have seen your daughter at your 352 Kentucky Blue Circle address?
Yes.
I have no further questions, Judge.
Your
Defense,
Honor.
you wish to inquire of this witness?
Yes, ma'am, you didn't see your daughter texting you, am I correct?
No, she texted from her father's phone at his house.
And you didn't ever see her with the phone in her hand texting, am I correct?
Correct.
When you said that you seen ring footage of her at your house,
Yes.
but you wasn't at that house at that particular time, right?
No, because she knew I was at work from 12 to 2, and she came at 1:30.
And it was no contact with you, but it wasn't a no return to the scene in question, am I correct?
No, you're not. She was ordered by a unlawful detainer / eviction order not to come back to the house. It was posted on my door.
I have no further questions, Your Honor. I would like to be heard in regards to bond.
You may.
This is it, right? Yeah. Your Honor, she has no criminal convictions in or out of state. She's 22 years old, and we have a unique, specific set of facts as my client is pregnant at the time, and being incarcerated in jail could have some kind of effect on the unborn child, Your Honor. I would ask that you give her one final shot, not to have her bond revoked. There is a no contacting order. I've explained it to her just now. She can't have any contact whatsoever. She's been fully aware of this. She can't have any text messages. You can't have a third person ask her anything. Just no contact whatsoever. For all intents and purposes, your mother doesn't exist at this point. My client understands that. I don't believe that she would ever contact her mother again, at least not during the duration of this case. And Your Honor, I'm not asking for the sake of my client. I'm asking for the sake of her unborn child that you do not revoke the bond and give her an opportunity to get out of jail today.
Thank you for that information. Ms. Barisi, I know obviously there's something going on, but besides for the issues presently between you and Christina, is she a dangerous person to you?
She has psychiatric issues and she's not being treated properly with medication. She's also used some illicit drugs, and I fear for the unborn child also. I think she needs to have anger management and psychiatric counseling, and that's why I was here to push this, because she also, I had asked the judge at the last arraignment to order her to return my purse, which she took before she was arrested, and she was trying to use it as a bargaining tool, and that was part of the text messages, was if you bring me my TV and my cats and this and that, I will return, we can talk. Like, we can negotiate for your purse. I had my nursing license, my driver's license, everything in there that I needed. I only got it back because the officer got it yesterday.
Understood.
She just doesn't get it.
I understand. Everything that you just said, the state attorney has listened to as well. At first appearances, this is the very, very beginning of what we do in a court proceeding. So this is not where I would be allowed to even consider ordering her to do treatment or to take her medication, or this is about whether or not she stays detained and what the conditions of her release will be. If it comes to that point, the judge who gets these cases can say, this is what I want you to do. But she's presumed innocent until proven guilty. Today is a probable cause determination. It's a different level of what ultimately can happen. So I just wanted to let you know why I wouldn't be able to do what you're asking me to do if I thought it was appropriate.
Okay.
We're not there yet.
Okay.
And so if the case gets there, then that's something that could be considered.
Okay.
So the court finds probable cause for the new law arrest. Court will set bond in the violation of the PTR condition at $1,000 plus no contact with mom. That means no direct, no indirect, no third party, no social media messages, anything, smoke signals, nothing can happen. You may not pass information to your mother through third parties, and you basically have to not have any contact with her at all. The court is gonna revoke but not zero the other bond, because it is a domestic violence battery case and mom is the listed victim, 2020 MM 562AA. And what were the conditions? How much was the bond in that case before? 1,100. So it was 1,000 count one and 100 count two. So that'll be revoked, discharged, and doubled.
Okay, 2,002.
And again, no contact whatsoever. You can't go to her house. I don't want you going within 1,000 feet of her house. You can't go to her work. Any communication is going to have to be through attorneys.
Thank you so much, Your Honor.
Ma'am, I don't know what happened. I really don't. I don't know your personal life. If what your mom is saying is accurate about choices that you make as far as things that you do, drugs that you take, or medication you don't take, if you are pregnant and that stuff is true, you need to really seek some help. I don't know if it is. That's just some advice.
Thank you.
All right.
Judge, can we also order in this case no return to 352 Kentucky Blue Circle?
Yes, there is no, all the no contact, no return provisions apply to both of these open cases as to mom's residence and mom's work.
Okay, thank you, Judge.
Thank you. All right, thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Kyle Duke. Good afternoon, sir. Please say your name.
Kyle Duke.
Thank you. Mr. Duke, you were arrested for domestic violence battery. I read the affidavit. There is probable cause. PD is appointed. Hi, ma'am. Are you going to want to say something?
Yes.
Okay, please raise your right hand. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Thank you. Please lower your hand and say your name.
Holly Spone.
One more time.
Holly Spone.
And who are you related to Mr. Duke?
I'm his ex-fiance.
Okay. Hold on, I'm sorry. I was trying to see the names in the paperwork. State, is her name in this police report?
I don't see it, Judge.
I don't either. All I kept seeing was victim, 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 but it doesn't say a name.
Correct.
Are you the person who is described in this police report as the victim of this case?
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Okay. What would you like to say?
Just that I'm not afraid and he's not a violent person. This was just all misunderstanding due to alcohol.
Being one of the last people to go, you get the benefit of hearing everybody else's testimony ahead of you. So
Fun
you
stuff.
kind of know what to say. State, do you have any questions?
Do you, is this the first incident between you guys?
Yes.
First altercation?
Yes.
Do you have to have contact with him? Like, do you guys share?
I don't have to, but I would like to.
Do you guys have any kids in common?
No.
Do you guys, if he doesn't return to your house, does he have anywhere else to go?
Yes.
Where can he go?
His mother's.
I have no further questions, Judge.
Defense, do you wish to inquire?
Yes, Your Honor. So, Ms. Stone, if anything happened, would you call 911?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And do you want contact with Mr. Duke?
Yes, please.
No further questions, Your Honor.
Ma'am, you also had the benefit of hearing me say to, I believe, a lady one or two before you that, actually, I think to the last lady that I just talked to with her daughter, this is the beginning of the process, so certain things that might be able to be ordered later, if it turns out that they are necessary and appropriate, can't be ordered now, because with regard to this charge, Mr. Duke is presumed innocent until proven guilty. However, I did hear you say that he's got alcohol issues. Looking at his history, it shows that he's had alcohol-related criminal contact for many years. He was convicted in 2011 of DUI, reckless driving, alcohol-related DUI, and other issues that I can't do anything about right now.
I understand.
So if you want me to let him out and have contact with you, but tell him that he needs to get alcohol treatment, I can't do that. I can't order him into treatment at this time. And I don't know him and I don't know you, but if what you're saying is correct and he needs help, you're not going to fix him.
Right.
You
I
can't
understand.
fix him.
I understand.
He has to, if he needs the help, he needs to decide he needs the help and get that treatment himself. So if what you're telling me is accurate, and I let him have contact with you, I can't control if he's going to drink or not.
I understand.
Okay. All right. So as I said, there is probable cause. Court's going to set bond at $1,000. He doesn't qualify for PTR. I'm going to order no contact with listed victim, no return to any shared residence. He may have a one-time assist order. I'm going to order, for the sake of the allegations in this petition, that he not possess or consume any alcohol while he is released.
Your Honor?
Yes, ma'am?
Can the state just verify, I believe he's out on bond on 2020 MM 2900AE.
I didn't have it
Just
out of
double
bond
check.
sheet.
Yeah, I didn't eat. I'm just, because it shows where he's out on bond on the traffic, and I'm trying to verify that, but I can't.
And you
I
see
believe
that
that's out of Seminole.
Oh, it's out of Seminole?
No, he's out on a DUI charge out of
Seminole.
Seminole, okay, Seminole County. So he has an open case in Seminole for DUI, but I see another open case, a 2020 MM 290002.
That's the one for today. 2908 is the one for today.
That's this one.
That's
290,
oh, okay.
yeah.
I have another case.
And I didn't even know about the DUI in
Yeah.
Seminole County. I'm
He's
looking
up
at
on-
a history.
Yeah,
of
he saw
DUI.
DUI, yes.
Not a present DUI. So, State, I would just suggest that you contact Seminole County and let them know. All right, thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Edward Stevens. Good afternoon, sir. Please say your name.
Edward Stevens.
Now, I'm a little confused, and I'll ask the state for clarification. My paperwork says Andrew Stevens, but throughout the entire narrative, it said Brandon Stevens.
And Judge, I had that question too, but I also see in the PTR info sheet that he has aliases.
Okay, it's an alias, okay. Because, again, I read through and there is probable cause for domestic violence battery. It's alleged, I believe, a fight with a cousin, and that's domestic, related by blood. But I kept looking for an Edward, and it just said Brandon. So if Brandon is an alias, then there is sufficient probable cause for Mr. Edward Stevens to be detained. Nobody in the witness room. History: failure to appear, 6 felonies, 4 misdemeanors. VOP times 4, Oxy times 2, leaving the scene, marijuana theft. Aaron Alexander. Sir, I'm going to set your bond based on what I read here at $500 plus pretrial release, no contact with the victim, no weapons or firearms, maintain a separate residence. And there's no form for the public defender. Do you need a PD or are you going to talk to a private lawyer?
Talk to a private lawyer.
Public defender?
Private lawyer.
Oh, private lawyer. I'm sorry, sir. The mask makes it hard to hear sometimes, so he's going to hire private. Thank you. Samuel Talbert. Good afternoon, sir. Please say your name.
Samuel O. Talbert.
Thank you. Mr. Talbert, you were arrested for domestic violence battery. There is probable cause. No witnesses are present. Does not qualify for PTR. 4 failures to appear, last one June of 2020. Ag assault, battery, cannabis, bat leo, disorderly, false ID, aggravated fleeing and eluding, duelist, possession firearm, kidnapping, VOP, DV bat times 2, DUI times 2, resisting, duelist times 3. Bond of this case will be set at $1,500. No contact with listed victim. Do not share a residence. Maintain a separate residence. Do not possess any weapons or firearms. PD is appointed. Thank you. Should have brought my water. Nathaniel Williams. Good afternoon. Please say your name.
Nathaniel S. Williams.
Thank you. Mr. Williams, you were arrested for battery. I don't find probable cause for the domestic aspect of it. I think there was a little bit of language still missing.
Yes.
Although I understand where it came from, it's not specifically stated what the criteria are. It says that they dated, but I couldn't see anywhere where it said that they lived together. And they're not married and they're not related by blood or otherwise. Does the state see otherwise?
I think it's dating violence.
Right. Yes, ma'am.
Right, and dating violence is a grounds to arrest somebody and preliminarily perhaps hold them on a 0, but it's still just a battery. It's either battery
Yes, Your
or
Honor.
domestic violence battery, and
Yes,
it's
Your
not
Honor.
domestic.
Yes, Judge.
Yes.
I mean, not PC anyway. I don't know what the state will end up proving down the line.
Yes, Your Honor.
That was the distinction I was trying to make. So there is probable cause for battery. Having said that, Mr. Williams, you have some history. Florida conviction battery, possession firearm on school property, possession cannabis, possession paraphernalia. But that last conviction was in 2012.
Yes.
How old are you?
32.
Oh, well, you look a lot younger. I was
Thank
looking
you.
at this going, 2012, what were you, like 10? Well, I mean, he looks really young, doesn't he? Yeah. Bond in this case, Mr. Williams, would be set at $1,000 with pretrial release, no contact with the victim, maintain a separate residence, and do not possess any weapons or firearms.
Okay.
And do you need a public defender? Because I don't have an affidavit.
No.
No? Okay. Thank you. Was that the last domestic? Or the last? Why did those take so long? Has COVID made it worse, you think? Do you guys see an uptick in the domestic cases of people being cooped up at home and so they like get crazy?
This is actually not as bad as before, but when it first started, like during the height of COVID, there was a lot of domestic.
Yeah, people are getting a little cabin fever and a little froggy during the week. Yeah. Well, you know what too? People being out of work and then money frustrations and.
Well, now there's no mandatory stay at home, like, you know, people.
They can get out.
Yeah.
All right. Kiana Zhang?
Yes.
Hi, good afternoon. Please say your name.
Kiana Zhang.
Thank you. Ms. Zhang, you were arrested on a warrant. The warrant is for robbery, armed robbery with a firearm and a mask, and then carjacking with a weapon or a firearm. The judge who issued the warrant found probable cause and set your bonds at 0. The public defender's office is appointed, and that's all I have. Thank you. You need me to sign these? Okay. Kenneth Allen?
Yes, ma'am.
Good afternoon. Please say your name.
Kenneth Daniel Allen.
Thank you. Mr. Allen, you were arrested for burglary to an unoccupied structure. There is probable cause. Your bond is stayed at $3,500. I'm going to order that you not return to the scene and have no contact with the property owner. The public defender's office is appointed. Thank you. Marie Alvarez. Good afternoon. Please say your name.
Good afternoon, Marie Alvarez.
Thank you. Ms. Alvarez, you have 2 warrants. Both are for grand theft. Both have bonds of $2,500. And no return to the scene, no weapons or firearms. Public defender's office is appointed.
Can I have a pretrial for those 2 charges?
No.
No? Okay.
Judge Calderon set the bonds. I'm going to leave his bonds where they are.
Okay, thank you.
Shonda Blake? No.
Wesley Brand.
I can skip Shonda Blake for a second. And is this Mr. Brand? All right, I can talk to Mr. Brand and we can bring Ms. Blake up, whatever you need. Behavior. Oh, behavior. Okay. For the record, public defender's office is appointed. There is an affidavit. She's a behavior issue. She's got 3 cases: failure to appear warrant, violation of pretrial release warrant, and a new law arrest for prostitution. Does the public defender want to waive her appearance at first appearance?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, so obviously the 2 warrants have probable cause. The prostitution I read, and there is probable cause. All bonds are stayed. All right, so let me give you that. That's that. That's that. And so that would make you Mr. Brand. Thank you. Good afternoon, sir. Please say your name.
Wesley Brand.
Thank you. Mr. Brand, the arrest report that I read showed count 1, possession of cocaine with intent to sell or deliver. Count 2, possession of a firearm or ammunition by convicted felon. I don't find probable cause for count 1. I don't know if the state has anything that you'd like to point to my attention, but I don't see how this was possession with intent to sell or deliver based on what was written here. I just don't think the dots are connected.
Can you just find him? I know the intent to deliver is what's troubling, Your Honor. Can you still find PC for possession of cocaine, though?
Well, hold on. Here's what I read, and tell me if you see it differently. They stopped somebody, and the person they stopped, they found a pipe, and they tested what was in the pipe, and they asked him, where the crack was that they saw him purchasing before they stopped him. Then they went back to Mr. Brand and they said, we saw this happening and we tested what the other guy gave us. And I just don't think that that's enough for the possession or with the possession of intent to sell or deliver. They're accusing him of selling what they found on the second guy. I don't see enough of a connect the dots here. Now, it doesn't mean you can't prove it up with testimony later if you're gonna go forward with the charges, but for PC,
That's fine, Judge.
I just don't see it.
That's fine.
I mean, I could be wrong and my eyes could have blurred, but that's why I asked, did I read something incorrectly? There is probable cause for possession of a firearm by a convicted felon, however, because they did find that with him and did run his history. All right, so I'm gonna ROR him on count 1 and set bond on count 2 at $4,000. Do not possess any illegal substances, do not possess any weapons or firearms, surrender temporarily during the pendency of the case, the firearm in question. Public Defender's Office is appointed. And they're staying nice and quiet. The next one that I would have would be Vitiana Brown. Did she bond? Behavior, okay. She did not fill out an affidavit for the public defender. I had gotten an email from Judge Wish that said that they're trying not to reset people. They're trying to deal with it, but if she's not represented by the public, if this defendant's not represented by the public defender, I'm kind of hard pressed to skip her. I think we should reset her. All right. I can't hear you. I will be here tomorrow, yes, so I'm resetting it for me. However, Ms. Brown needs to be informed that she needs to behave and that she needs to appear, or the court will take that as a willful defiance of court order. So we'll reset her for tomorrow. In the meantime, her bond will be stayed. Okay, Michaela Dyer, is that you, ma'am?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. So, Ms. Dyer, you were arrested for a couple of different things. What I have here, the first one is for grand theft. I read the affidavit and there is probable cause. Looks like you also have an out-of-county warrant or two for Seminole. 202652. Is this a continuation or two separate sheets from Seminole? Is it one?
It's a duplicate, yeah.
It's a duplicate. So you have a warrant out of Seminole County that has 5 counts, and the first of those 5 is a 0 bond. So you're not going to be able to bond out because Seminole's got you on a 0. And then you have the new arrest for the grand theft where I'm going to set bond at $1,000.
Okay.
No contact with co-defendants, no return to any target. And then you're out on bond in Orlando for 20 CF 9543AO. That's going to be revoked. You do qualify for the public defender, so I'll appoint the PDs to represent you. Thank you. You get all that? Okay. Carlos Ferrer Nunez. Hi, are you Mr. Ferrer Nunez?
Yep.
Okay. Sir, you were arrested on 2 warrants. Grand thefts, both of them. The bonds are $2,500 in each case, plus no return to the scene, no weapons or firearms. You don't qualify for the public defender. Your affidavit says you make too much money. Thank you. Jalen Gregory. I had the juvenile defendant this morning that was a part of this.
You also had the other one too.
Yeah. I read it a little while ago and I,
Yeah.
I got caught up trying to read the transcript. I was like, oh, I want to see what this says, but I was like, I don't need to read the transcript.
There's 2 other people involved. I believe I did their IAs a week or 2 ago.
So there's 5 altogether?
Yeah, like
wow. Good afternoon. Please say your name.
Jalen Gregory.
Thank you. You're here for first appearance. You were arrested on a warrant, 2 counts, armed robbery with a firearm wearing a mask, and carjacking with a weapon or firearm. Your bonds are set at 0, and you do qualify for the public defender. That's it. Thank you.
Alright. I ain't got no bonds, you said?
Can I have a moment, Your Honor? Hey.
Yes?
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. The next one would have been Tiffany Harris, but you don't look like Tiffany Harris. No. Okay, no problem.
I'll check.
Are you Brandon Howlett? Okay, Brandon Howlett. Okay, sir, you were arrested for possession of MDMA or methamphetamines. There is probable cause. And
We qualify. Mr.
qualifies,
Howard.
yep. And no history, correct?
Correct, Your
All right, I'm going to release you pretrial release with, are you doing random drug testing?
Yes.
With random drug testing, do not possess or consume any illegal substances. Do you need a public defender? Because I don't have an affidavit for you. Do you want a court-appointed lawyer, or are you going to hire a private lawyer?
I don't know.
What do you think?
Your Honor, I believe he may need the
Right, Your Honor.
services of the public defender's office.
I'm sorry?
I believe he's gonna be utilizing our services, Your Honor. I would ask for us to be appointed.
Mr. Howlett, you understand me okay?
Yes, I do.
All right, do you want a public defender?
Yes, I'll take it.
You guess so?
Yes, I will take it.
Okay, PD will be appointed.
Your Honor, and can those random drug tests start in about 2 weeks, or 2 or 3 weeks out?
And that would be for what reason?
Just if he has anything in the system, just to.
But I don't think meth stays in your system that long. That's why people keep going out there to try and get more meth.
Okay.
Marijuana stays in your system a long time. I'll tell PTR, if he tests positive only for marijuana, not to issue a violation unless his levels don't decrease. I don't know, do you check that?
I don't know you run the.
We do that. Okay, well, can you at least let them know that I said that if he tests positive for marijuana, not to use that as a violation of his PTR?
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. Especially taking the state's position recently on not prosecuting marijuana cases or allowing them to watch a 30-minute video. Did we find Ms. Harris?
She bonded.
Bonded, thank you. Carlos Johnson? Good afternoon, sir. Please say your name.
Carlos Johnson, ma'am.
Thank you. Mr. Johnson, you were arrested for grand theft and ag assault with a firearm. There is probable cause. Does not qualify for PTR. Extensive history, including 8 failures to appear. Bond on count 1 is going to be set at $2,500. Bond in count 2 will be stayed at $2,500. No contact with co-defendants. No return to any target. Do not possess any weapons or firearms. And temporarily surrender the weapon in question. The public defender's office is appointed. Thank you. Yes. I raised it a lot when I saw his 8 failures to appear. An extensive history that I didn't have the sheet for when I wasn't able to pair the sheet at the time. We're done. No. The clerk was just looking at me like, did I hear you right? Janella Johnson? Okay. Ms. Johnson's going to get 1 opportunity to reset to tomorrow. She's being ordered to behave so that she can appear at her first appearances as an order of the court.
Your Honor, the defense will waive.
Unless she's got mental health issues.
The defense will waive her appearance, so we'll stand in.
Did she apply for public defender? She did not. Are you already her attorneys?
I could check that out.
Okay. She has an FTA in 20 mm 6272. But she has a new law arrest for grand theft motor vehicle.
PD is already on 6272.
She what?
PD is already on 6272.
On the other one.
Yes, I would ask that we be appointed on the new law, and we'll waive her appearance, Your Honor.
Okay. So she's appointed on the new law. There is probable cause for grand theft. She also has a failure to appear capias. The grand theft will be stayed at $1,000, and the failure to appear will be, as per the warrant, $2,000. Daniel Loggins. Good afternoon, sir. Mr. Loggins, you were arrested for a warrant, fleeing and eluding, driving on a suspended license with knowledge, and resisting without violence. The judge who issued that warrant set your bonds at 1,000, count 1, 500, count 2, 500, count 3. Looks like you're also out on bond in 20 CF 5484AO. That bond is going to be revoked and set at 0. The public defender's office is appointed. Thank you. Nathaniel McCrae.
And Your Honor, the defense will be contesting PC in this one.
Okay, thank you. Public defender's office is appointed. Sir, you were arrested for, it looks like, fleeing and eluding, resisting without violence, and possession of marijuana. What's the defense's argument?
Yes, Your Honor, the fleeing was entirely on foot. And so the statute that they name in the arrest affidavit is subsection 3, with fleeing and eluding requires high speed and requires the emergency lights to be activated. The officer was out of the car when he told him to stop, went across the street and got out and ran away, allegedly. So this is not there's no PC for fleeing and eluding.
State, do you wish to be heard?
Judge, I don't have anything else that would be contrary to that, reading the affidavit.
At this time, the court does not find probable cause for count 1, but does find probable cause for counts 2 and 3. Count 1 will be an ROR. Count 2, let me look at his history. You're 37?
Yes,
You
ma'am.
look younger than that.
Thank you.
Felony ag bat and theft. Okay. Count 2 will be $1,000. Count 3 will be $100. Do not possess any illegal substances. And that is all.
Thank you.
Thank you. Kalari Jaquan Miller.
Yes, ma'am.
Are you Mr. Miller?
Yes, ma'am.
Hi, Mr. Miller. Sir, you were arrested for possession of cannabis with intent to sell or deliver, possession of paraphernalia. There is probable cause. Doesn't qualify for PTR. Bonds will be stayed. Public defender's office appointed. Do not possess any illegal substances. Thank you. Andres Nieves?
Nieves refused, Your Honor.
All right. Mr. Nieves is failure to appear on a 0 bond. The public defenders are appointed. Do you wish to waive his appearance?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Appearance is waived. Ryan Oliver. Good afternoon. Please say your name.
Ryan Oliver.
Thank you. Mr. Oliver, you were arrested for possession of methamphetamine, possession of heroin, possession of fentanyl, and possession of paraphernalia. There is probable cause.
Yeah, we qualify Mr. Oliver for straight pretrial release.
So you live in St. Cloud?
Yes, ma'am. My mother.
How long have you lived there?
On 5 years, on and off. Last 3 years solid.
State, do you have any objection to a PTR with random drug testing?
No, Judge.
He qualifies for straight PTR. He'll be PTR'd. Random drug testing. Do not possess or consume any illegal substances. If you test positive for anything, you're going to revoke your PTR and more than likely be set at a 0 bond. Public defenders are appointed. Thank you. Adam Renta.
And Judge, the defense is challenging PTC on this case as well.
Oh, he's not here. Okay, and I don't show that he applied for a public defender. I don't have an affidavit. And since he's not here to tell me he needs a PD, I'm not appointing the public defender. He refused, you said? All right, the court finds that he's voluntarily waived his right to be present by refusing to participate. Burglary of a structure, trespass in a structure or conveyance, resisting without violence. Bonds will be stayed, probable cause is found. No return, no contact with listed victim. William Stedman? Bonded, thank you. Makisha Tatum?
Yes, ma'am.
Hi. Can you please say your name?
Michaela Tatum.
Thank you. Ma'am, you were arrested on a warrant for failure to appear 2 counts. The judge who issued that set your bond on count 1 at $15,000 and count 2 at $200. Do you have a lawyer already?
No, ma'am.
No, do you need a public defender?
Yes, for this case, I was making
PD will be appointed provisionally. She'll just have to fill out an affidavit. I'm going to appoint the public defender so they can represent you, okay? Thank you. There's 15,000 count one
I
and
have a
200
form.
count 2. Excuse me?
I filled out a form for a public.
Oh, okay, I didn't have it. I'm appointing them anyway, it's fine. If you've already filled it out, you're good, you're ahead of it.
She already has it.
All right, thank you. James Taylor, good afternoon, please say your name.
James Taylor.
Thank you. So Mr. Taylor, you were arrested for possession of cannabis with intent to sell or deliver, trespass, and possession of paraphernalia. There is probable cause. Looks like you're also out on bond in 20 CF 1448 and actually they're both 1448. They're just 2 counts? They must be 2 counts.
I like to talk to myself.
Right?
Oh, Your Honor, he's,
Oh, no, I'm sorry.
Yeah, he's-
20 CF, I was looking at the wrong number.
Oh,
20
okay.
CF 12433, 19 CF 15892. I was looking up and not down. So, Mr. Taylor, your bond in count 1, actually, your bonds will be stayed. 1,000 count 1, 500 count 2, 500 count 3, and in the other 2 cases, they'll be revoked and set at 0.
Oh,
Yes, sir?
my son just came down here from Louisiana. I really was hoping that you wouldn't do that. I'm trying to get back to him. My lady's out of town in Atlanta. It just happened at the wrong time. If you would please let me get to my son. Y'all probably see me again because I still got to answer to these cases. But I really do need to get my son. He just came down to my first time getting him.
I'm gonna appoint the public defender to represent you since you do qualify, and they're gonna talk with you about whatever step is gonna be next in setting a bond. Thank you.
All right.
Latricia Thompson,
You bonded, Your Honor?
thank you. Stephen Williams,
He's medical, Your Honor?
okay, does he have a public defender? No, right? He didn't fill out an affidavit? Oh. This is an add-on. It's it, right? AO, add-on?
No.
What's AO? We'll reset him to tomorrow. All right, Mr. Williams.
Your Honor,
He's a medical,
Oh, he
reset when
bonded.
available for
Stephen
medical.
Williams bonded, Your Honor.
Oh.
On all the cases.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's
Sorry.
bonded.
I thought I heard somebody say medical. Okay.
He's bonded.
Bonded, sorry. These darn masks.
Oh, no, I thought I heard bonded.
I heard medical.
So he bonded out?
That's what, yes.
I didn't hear that either.
Okay.
He was medical earlier.
Okay. Anthony Brock.
I don't have that. Your Honor, you have a booking number?
Your Honor, we don't have that name on our docket.
He bonded, Your Honor.
All right, Brock bonded. And Kevin Hamilton
He's bonded, Your Honor.
bonded. Elijah Hoskins.
We don't have that either, Your Honor. Did he bond?
And finally, Miss McFadden. I had to get through all the DUIs first. Hi, are you Miss Patricia McFadden?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Miss McFadden, I was given a couple of sheets, okay, from pretrial release. And there's a warrant here that was for failure to appear, 20 CT 708. Judge Bigney actually changed it from 0 to ROR. So
Okay.
I'm going to give you that one. And then there's 20 CT 710,
It's the same.
which
same.
is a failure to appear. Well, that one has a $2,000 bond. Judge Bigney left that at $2,000.
It's the same time. It was the same thing.
That's fine, I'm just letting you know, because originally the failure to appear was a 0.
Right,
And she
right.
changed it, so now you have the ability to get out.
Okay.
All right?
Okay, thank you so much.
You're welcome, PD appointed.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
And then back to Mr. Elijah Hoskins, for the record, 20 CT 1578, he bonded. Yes. And he was below that, or in front of that, I should say. Mario Miranda?
We don't have him on our, we don't have that one.
These were a bunch of blanks that were in my pile. Oh, I didn't see that. I thought it was a bunch of paperwork. Okay.
They just have a,
Bonded with the other citation.
bonded one.
Okay, so Mario Oro Miranda bonded. And, there's no PD form in there, I don't see. So Jared Stiles. I'm gonna go out on a limb and guess he bonded.
Probably bonded.
But I'll let you double check that for me, and I'll assume that this is Miss Adams. Cindy Adams, is that correct, ma'am?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Ma'am, you were arrested for a charge of prostitution. There is probable cause. And, oh, that was Miss McFadden's sheet, and here's Miss Adams' sheet. Nine felonies, 47 misdemeanors.
Bonded, Your Honor.
Thank you. 8 failures to appear, multiple convictions for prostitution,
And that
worthless
was
check,
10 years ago.
cocaine, frequenting a house of ill fame. I haven't seen that written down in a very long time. Are these typically in Orlando pleables?
Yes, Your Honor.
That's what I thought.
The states indicate they don't have an offer at this time.
Judge, it looks like it's upgradable since she has at least 8 prior prostitution charges,
Oh, my
so.
So
there
there's
would
no
be
offer from the state?
No offer from the state.
Your Honor, even though that there's no offer from the state, since this is initial appearance, we are allowed to plead to the bench.
Okay. She understands that as a second-degree misdemeanor, under the statute number, I can sentence her to 60 days in the county jail.
Well, yes, well, the thing about it, I was gonna ask, would the court be willing to credit time served?
I would not.
Please.
I would not.
Oh,
Now, when I looked at her history, I would not.
I've been cool.
I just want to make sure she understands it's punishable from anywhere from credit time served up to 60 days in jail. Up to $500 in fines, up to 6 months of supervised probations with
Yes,
conditions.
you
Those are the maximum possible penalties. So if you plead to the bench, I can do any combination of those things.
have a moment, Your Honor?
Yes? And for the record, the PD is appointed. I'll go back to just address for the record that Jared Stiles bonded.
Your Honor,
Sir?
do you have any objections for me to roll this case until Monday?
For what purpose?
Well, the state attorney that's gonna be regularly scheduled in here during the weeks, we usually see these cases, we get these cases a lot, and she has plea offers for those cases. Since Ms. Gong doesn't have one, I believe that there will be one on Monday
Yeah, no, I'm not gonna reset it, and I'm not gonna accelerate it. I mean, she's here for first appearances, the paperwork is in order, she has her options. She can either decide to plead to the bench or wait for the state to file the charges.
Yeah.
That's not a legal basis to roll it.
Well,
Right.
Well, Your Honor, shoot, my client would like to address the court. Just don't talk about the facts of the case.
Yes, Miss Adams?
Don't talk about the facts of the case.
Miss Adams, what would you like to say?
Judge, I was left in the care of a couple of people's.
I'm sorry, ma'am, I can't hear you.
I was left in the care of taking care of a couple of people's pets. Besides that, I'm on Social Security. If I am in here longer than 30 days, they will take that. So, you know, so that's why I'm.
I understand. All right. Your bond is gonna be stayed.
What is happening?
Thank you.
Got bond out.
Angel Cabell? Hi there, are you Mr. Cabell?
Yes.
Thank you. Sir, you were arrested for petty theft. I've read the affidavit. There is probable cause. It doesn't show any history. It looks like maybe not interviewed.
No, Your Honor, he was interviewed.
Oh, it says he doesn't qualify and he has absolutely no
Right,
history.
he lives in New York. Yeah, we weren't able to verify community ties.
Oh,
and
okay.
He lives in New York, yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Cabell, full-time address is in New York?
Yes.
So you're just here for a short
I
time?
came to visit my mom.
And can you stay with your mom for a little bit till you get this case figured out?
No, she's like 89. She's really old.
How old are you?
I'm 25.
Wow.
I was adopted.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay, because I was gonna say, she's,
Sorry. She adopted me when she was like 74, I
okay,
think.
no, I understand. So
Yeah.
you can't stay with her?
No.
And so your intention is to go back to New York?
I was supposed to go yesterday morning.
Okay, did you come down by yourself?
Yeah, I took a bus down here.
Okay.
Your Honor, typically, the
He's
judge,
appointed.
yeah, the judge will inform him that, you know, he's allowed to travel back, but he's gonna have to come back to court to deal with, his charges here.
Right, I wasn't gonna hold him indefinitely, just have to consider what I think is a reasonable bond, and he doesn't qualify for PTR, and, probation says they couldn't find any kind of history, so I'm just trying to figure out what would be appropriate to make sure he comes back to court.
All right.
He does have one prior petty theft that he pled. I think his date of birth was 10 years off in the system. That might have been a typo, but I compared the DL licenses and they're the same. So he does have a prior.
Here?
Yes,
I have
in
a
Orange
question.
County.
Hold on.
Sorry.
So he has one prior petty theft in Orange County, and the plea offer in this case is an adjudication and court costs and no return.
Do the public defenders want to discuss that with him to see if that's amenable today? Because that would, first talk to your lawyer before you say anything to me. That way you can make sure you're not saying something you shouldn't say.
Do you have another paper? All right, yeah, so if you take it, you could take it.
The next one would be Robert Connors, but that's not Robert Connors behind Mr. Cabell, right? It's a withhold. I bet you he bonded.
You have some.
I wish I didn't get these papers so I didn't have to read them. Connors bonded. What about Antonio Frazier?
Oh, he's right here.
Oh, okay, thanks. One sec, sir. All right, so, Mr. Cabell, what would you like to do, sir? I need to have you make a decision.
He say he's able to pay the bond, so.
Okay, so the bond will be stayed.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Yeah.
His bond is stayed. All right, Antonio Frazier. Did you want Connors?
No.
Hi there. Yeah, he bonded. I didn't know if you wanted the paperwork. Mr. Frazier, you were arrested for trespass. There is probable cause. History. Yes. Last conviction, trespass in an occupied structure, May of 2019. All right. Bond is stayed at $500. Public Defender's Office is appointed.
Your Honor, is there an offer to resolve the case?
There is.
I'll ask the state.
It was, I believe, an adjudication, court costs and no return.
You want to take that? You want to take the plea? They find you guilty, credit time served, and no return, and you'll get out to them.
Oh, okay, yes, sir, yes, sir.
Do you want to do that?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, can you please step back towards the wall and read that form for me, and I'll talk to the lady who's behind you. Thank you. Myra Fuentes. Hi, are you Miss Fuentes?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
I can't see without my glasses.
Miss Fuentes, you were arrested for prostitution. You're out on bond in 20 MM 3834. There is probable cause for the new arrest. Bond is stayed. And in 20 MM 3834, bond is revoked and doubled. And the public defender's office is appointed.
And Judge, just for the record,
It's 10 grand.
the offer the state conveyed to me this morning was a withhold 6-month probation, no return, the HIV STD class, and court costs.
But she's getting revoked and doubled on the MM that she's out on. So does she want to plead today knowing that she's probably still not going to be able to get out?
No, I'll wait about that too.
All right. Thank you. That's Mr. Frazier. Alexandra
I
Hernandez.
just wanted her to hear it.
Is Mr. Frazier coming back?
He's reading now.
He needed his glasses?
Yeah, I provided him with some.
I resemble that remark nowadays. The older I get, although my eye doctor said that my vision in my right eye has improved since my last exam.
My doctor decreased my my farsightedness so that I can increase my nearsightedness. That's how I can not use reading glasses.
Interesting.
So yeah.
Yeah, my eyes are too open.
Hi there. Did you have enough time to read your paperwork,
Yes,
sir?
ma'am. Yes,
Okay.
ma'am, Your Honor.
Can you please raise your right hand for me? Do you swear to tell the truth, so help you God?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Please lower your hand and say your name.
Antonio Demetrius Frazier.
Mr. Frazier, did you have as much time as you needed to read over that paperwork?
Well, yes, I did.
Do you understand the rights that are in the form?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you have any questions?
No, ma'am.
Do you feel like anybody forced you or rushed you to make this decision?
Oh, no, ma'am.
Are you acting under the influences of any kinds of medications, drugs, or alcohol?
Oh, no, ma'am. No, ma'am.
The law in Florida says that if you're not a U.S. citizen, entering a plea would be used as a reason to deport you. I understand that might not apply to you, but I
Oh,
have
no,
to say
ma'am. I've been
I have
out.
to say it to everybody. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
You have the right to have a lawyer. If you cannot afford to hire a lawyer, I'll appoint one for you if you qualify. By taking the plea today, we're going to wrap this up today, which means there's not going to be more time to talk to a lawyer. Are you okay with that?
Yes, ma'am.
How do you plead?
No contest.
State, if we proceeded to trial in this case, would you be able to show that on December 4th, 2020 in Orange County, Florida, this defendant was found on 901 South Orange Blossom Trail, which is a 7-Eleven gas station, after he had been previously told that he was not allowed to be there?
Yes, Your Honor.
Does the defense wish to dispute?
No, Your Honor, we'll stipulate for purposes of the plea.
Mr. Frazier, I find that you are alert, that you're intelligent, that you understand that your plea is freely and voluntarily entered, and that I have a sufficient factual basis. I will accept it. It'll be an adjudication of guilt, credit time served, no return to the 7-Eleven.
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
and court
ma'am, Your
costs
Honor.
To
No
323, payable within 365 days. 30 days to appeal, all appeals in writing. If you cannot afford a lawyer, I'll appoint one if you qualify. Good luck, sir.
All right.
Here was the sheet from Myra. I forgot to give that to you. Alexandra Hernandez? No. Alexandra Marie Hernandez. She probably bonded. I can give you the paperwork. And then David Ingram?
Yes, ma'am.
Hi, Mr. Ingram.
Good afternoon.
Sir, you were arrested for trespass.
Yes, ma'am.
There is probable cause. Public Defender's Office is appointed. Is there an offer from the state?
Adjudication, no return, court costs.
Yes, Your Honor.
Would he like to accept that?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Ingram, do you have any questions?
No, ma'am.
Do you want to take the state's offer to just resolve this case right now?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, we're going to give you the plea form. If you'll please review it, and then when you're ready, let me know. For the record, Alexandra Hernandez bonded. Jessica Jones. Oh, we knew she bonded. Ray Lamar. All right, Mr. Lamar will be reset to when available.
Your Honor, the defense will waive his appearance.
Okay, let me make sure. The public defender's on the case. They may be on 19 MM 8385.
And the fact that he's actually in a mental health dorm, we will ask that we be appointed.
Got it. He actually has multiple cases that he was out on mental health PTR. All right, so the court will appoint the public defenders on the new law and stay his bond. For now, his PTR is revoked and it's going to need to go back in front of the judge before whom the cases were assigned because there's, I guess, ongoing competency evaluations.
So you're revoking all the cases you're
Yes.
Okay.
And then David Ingram.
You can help me.
Ingram,
Yes, ma'am.
are you ready, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you need more time, sir? Because I can give you some more time.
Please, no consent.
Okay, but do you want more time to go over the form or are you ready to go?
Ready to go?
Okay, can you please raise your right hand for me?
Where we going?
Raise your right hand for me.
Uh-huh.
Do you promise that the testimony you're going to give me will be the truth?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Please lower your hand. Mr. Ingram, did you have time to read that paper? You can put your hand down.
You're reading.
Do you want more time? You can step back to the wall again and read more? All right, take your time. At least until I'm done with the other cases. Harry Marquez Binet. All right, I'll give this one to the PTR. George Nee. Good afternoon, please say your name.
George Neeser.
Okay. Sir, you were arrested for criminal mischief and petty theft of $100 or more.
Bonded, Your Honor.
Yes.
Sorry?
You bonded.
Oh, the other person. I'm like, but Mr. Nee didn't bond. He's standing right there. There is probable cause, and he's out on a trespass in 20 MM 2451 in Osceola County. So bonds will be stayed, no return, no contact with victim, and 20 MM 2451 will be revoked. Public Defender's Office appointed. Thank you.
Thank you.
And then back to Harry Marquez Binet, he bonded. Tyler Phillips. Back to reality. He's ready? Mr. Ingram, you ready, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so I've already put you under oath. Do you have any questions about the paperwork you were reading?
No, ma'am.
Do you understand what's in the form?
A little bit. I kind of hardly read it. I can glance at it.
Okay, let me go over some of it with you, okay? Basically, what that paper is telling you is that you have the right to make the state prove these charges against you. You have the right to know what witnesses the state would call. You have the right to see what evidence they would present. You have the right to participate in selecting a jury. You have the right to testify or to choose not to testify. You have the right to question the state's witnesses and to challenge any of their evidence. You have the right to an attorney. If you cannot afford a lawyer, I will appoint one if you qualify. Those are among the many rights that you have that you're giving up by pleading today. Do you understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you have any questions?
No, ma'am.
Do you feel like anybody forced you to make this choice?
No.
Are you under the influences of any medications or drugs or alcohol?
No.
If you're not a U.S. citizen, you would be deported. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
If you are entering this plea because you feel that you can't afford a lawyer, I will appoint a lawyer for you if you qualify. Do you understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Do you want to go ahead and plead no contest and resolve this case today?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. State, if we proceeded to trial, would you be able to show that on December 4th, 2020 in Orange County, Florida, this defendant willfully entered or remained on the property of 660 Orange Ave, which is a Citgo gas station, after previously being trespassed from that location.
Yes, Your Honor.
Does the defense wish to dispute?
No, Your Honor.
So, sir, I find that you are alert, that you're intelligent, that you understand that your plea is freely and voluntarily entered, and that I have a sufficient factual basis, I will accept it. There'll be an adjudication of guilt, credit time served, no return to that Citgo. You can't go back to that Citgo.
No,
And court
ma'am.
costs of? No. 273. Payable within 365 days, 30 days to appeal. All appeals must be in writing. If you cannot afford a lawyer, I'll appoint one if you qualify. That means you're going to be released today, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
Stay out of trouble.
Yeah, ma'am.
All right. Tyler Phillips?
Yes, ma'am.
Hi, Mr. Phillips. Sir, you arrested for petty theft. Read the affidavit. There is probable cause. We did that. We did that. And here's Tyler's. History includes theft, burglary, ×5, grand thefts, fleeing, eluding, leaving the scene, resisting, dwellis, burglary, structure, a lot. Failure to appear, 11 felonies, 11 misdemeanors. Okay. Does not qualify for PTR. Sir, our bond is going to be stayed at $250, and I'm going to order you not to return to Macy's. Actually, I just don't want you at the Florida Mall at all, so don't go to the Florida Mall at all.
Yes, ma'am.
Public Defender's Office is appointed.
Is the bond like the 250? Is that?
It is. Thank you. Sarah Selman. Bonded. Emmanuel Strickland. Okay. All right, give me 1 second. Let me let this gentleman go ahead and leave. Hi, you need to go? Thank you. Mr. Strickland, you were arrested for criminal mischief. There is probable cause. You don't qualify for PTR. However, he doesn't have, no Florida history, but he has out-of-state history.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, how long have you been in Orlando?
Oh, I've been in Orlando for a week and a half now.
Okay, are you staying here or are you going back to somewhere else?
I'm going somewhere else. I'm going more toward like Utah. I'm in the midst of traveling, and if I can find a job here, but the coronavirus has been making it very difficult to find work.
Right.
So I know toward the middle of the country has like work over there.
Do you have family or friends here that you're staying with?
No, sir. I mean, no, miss, apologies.
No, that's okay.
I'm used to that.
That's fine.
No, but I crash sometimes at a friend's house, and I have this consistent area where they let me sleep. You know, they let me chill out there. It's like a church-owned place. I want to get into the coalition. I'm trying to look into how to get to that, but.
All right, hold on a sec, okay? Let me appoint the public defenders. He qualifies for the PD. I don't know that is this a pleable even?
There's victims involved, restitution,
Right.
so no offer
Okay.
charge.
So bond will be stayed, no contact with victim.
Who is the victim? There was nobody.
Yeah, the person who's named in the police report, you're not allowed to go back towards where she lives, and you're not allowed to have any contact with her. And they'll write that down.
With her?
Thank you.
Okay. God bless you. Thank you.
No return. You're welcome. Good luck. Yeah, no return, no contact. Keith Blackman? Hi, Mr. Blackman.
How you doing?
Sir, you were arrested on an out-of-county warrant from Seminole. The bond is $500, so if you can post that, you could get out. If you can't, they'll make an arrangement to see if they can resolve it some other way. I'll appoint the public defender. Judge Wish told me to go ahead and appoint the PDs on the out-of-counties, and then she will contact the out-of-county divisions to see if there's an offer. Right? Is that what you all do here?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. So bond will be stayed because I don't have the authority to change it, and the public defender is provisionally appointed. Thank you. I'm sorry, this is hurting my ears. I have to move this for a second. Good afternoon. Are you Mr. Cole?
Yes, ma'am.
Alonzo Cole?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, sir, you were also arrested on an out-of-county warrant from Seminole. Actually, 2, and they're both set at 0, so we'll let them know that we have you. If they are not going to be transporting, one of the judges from here will contact the judge in Seminole and see if there's any other way to resolve it. Do you need a public defender, or do you have a private lawyer?
I can get it.
You going to get a lawyer? Okay. Thank you. Kevin Nguyen?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Nguyen, you're here on an out-of-county warrant. Yours is from Brevard.
Yes, ma'am.
The bond is $10,000 set by the Brevard judge. So if you post it, you can get out. But if you can't post it, the judge here will contact the judge there.
So ma'am, yesterday I posted bond, that $10,000 bond, I paid it yesterday. And then somebody in Brevard, maybe a clerk of courts, this is what, my knowledge to what my lawyer said. My lawyer said somebody put the charge back up on accident.
All right, well, I'll have the clerk double check it and make sure that it was posted correctly. But I've got this one case. Well, it shouldn't be 2. It's the same case number. 19 CF 37392 is written on the top of both of these, so it should be one warrant. So the clerk is here. She's listening. She's going to put it into the file.
Because he came in on the on-view VOP at a no bond, so he has the VOP on-view. Then he came in on the out-of-county. They added on the out-of-county charge, which the bond was $10,000. So that on-view VOP is the...
Is there no bond?
Yeah.
So do I have bond or I don't have bond?
Okay, what I'm hearing from the PTR officer is that you had an on-view violation of probation, and that one was a 0.
Yes.
And then there was this warrant that came from the out-of-county that had a 10,000. So if you posted it, you're technically not getting credit on that, and you've got a VOP that you can't get out on.
Which VOP is that?
I have no idea. I'm just listening to them because
It's like it's the same case number.
if it's the same case number, then it should be what an on-view 0 by the judge who did IAs should be modified by the warrant. I think Judge Wish or Judge Carter are going to have to call Brevard and get an order from that judge to see which one. Oh, hold on. Who is that? Okay. Sorry, it's the emergency phone that I have to answer. It's like the bat phone.
So my lawyer said he emailed the prosecutor over here or something like that.
Okay.
And because they only showed one charge, which was the one with the $10,000 bail. And once I bonded out, once I already paid that, and I was waiting to get out, a couple hours later they posted a new one that said no bond.
Yeah, I'm going to check with the clerk because I don't have access to the court system here, to the clerk record keeping. If it's the same case number, it needs to be figured out whether it's a 0 or it's 10.
Yeah, we're gonna have a teletype sent out, Your Honor. I already sent an email.
All right, they sent an email to see if they can clear that up for you and find out today.
Today?
I'm hoping they're going to find out real soon.
Okay.
All right, tell your lawyer to call the clerk's office to make sure.
Okay.
All right.
The Orange County Clerk's office or
Yes.
the Brevard?
No,
Orange
the
County?
Orange County clerk's office.
Okay, thank you.
All right, good luck.
Thank you.
Anita Samuels?
Yes, ma'am.
Ms. Samuels, you were arrested on a Brevard County warrant. It's set at 0 bond. If they don't transport, the judge here is going to contact the judge in Brevard and see if there's another way to resolve this. I am going to appoint the public defender. The affidavit's attached to the file, and they'll be able to help figure out how to resolve this for you.
Okay,
Yes?
I'm sorry. No, Your Honor, this is for the guy that just left. I just
Okay,
got
all right,
an
hold on,
email.
hold on. All right, Ms. Samuels? Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Okay, so for the guy who just left.
Yes, so I just got an email saying that Brevard wants us to close the on-view, but we can't do it without an order.
All right.
You want us to do what?
Close the on-view.
Yes, but we can't.
And leave it as a warrant.
But we can't do it without an order. So I guess we have to have an order specifying that we can close the on-view because he's here on the out of county.
I could do an
That's
order.
what I'm just saying.
I'll sign an order that says, the warrant that was received from Brevard County is what the Brevard County Court intended to happen, and that will supersede the on-view. Because they have jurisdiction, so if they set it at 10 and we set it at 0, we should do what they say. It's their case.
Okay.
So if we fashion some kind of order to that
Just says
language, I'll
yes.
sign it.
Thank you, Judge.
Gwendolyn Walker? Hi.
Hi.
Ms. Walker, it looks like you were arrested on a Hillsborough County warrant. They set your bond at 0. If they don't come pick you up, the judge in this division is going to contact the judge in Hillsborough and see if there's another way to resolve this for you without you getting transported so that you don't sit here indefinitely waiting for that transport.
Okay.
All right?
Yes.
And you actually have a couple of warrants. They're both Hillsborough. I'm going to appoint the public defender so that you have a lawyer to talk to while you're here, and we'll see if we can't get some information out of Hillsborough, okay?
Okay.
All right, good luck.
Thank you. Thank you.
Terrell Williams? Hi, are you Mr. Williams?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, sir, you were arrested on an out-of-county warrant, Osceola. Count 1, $500, count 2, $100. So if you can post bond, you can get out from Orange County on those. But it looks like you may have a local charge. But I don't have, you know what, hold on. Let me look at the dates. I think this is what I was looking at. State, do you know what the dates are with regard to the new,
The grand theft?
no, the out of counties? So for example, it may be older than the case he's out on bond for here.
Let me, I don't have any of the case numbers from Osceola. Do you have them? I just have the third degree grand theft.
20 CF 1323.
Just 1 minute, Judge.
Who's texting the duty phone?
April 27th, 2020.
April what?
27th.
Okay, and the date he bonded on the Orange County case is August 9th, 2019. 19 CF 6137AO. But what is the out-of-county warrant for?
The 1323
Yes.
is for fleeing, attempting to elude, and a dwellis.
But the bond on a fleeing and eluding is $500? That's what's on the warrant, so that's kind of weird.
The charge was filed in July. Let me make sure that we have it correctly. Yep, count 1 is a F3 fleeing, and then count 2 is a dwellis.
I'm sorry, count 1 is what?
Is a F3 dwellis, or F3 fleeing, attempting to elude.
Okay. All right. So I'm not going to take any action on the 19 CF 6137 AO. I'm going to let that handle itself, and then he's got the bonds in Osceola County. Do you need a public defender, or are you going to talk to a private lawyer?
I already have a private lawyer.
Private lawyer, who is it?
Jeremiah.
That's fine. Thank you. Good luck. And then Michael Harker. Hi, are you Mr. Harker?
Yes, ma'am.
Sir, you brought back today because this warrant for violation of probation has 2 counts. It shows 2 counts, but it turned out that you were only on probation on 1 count. You
Yes,
weren't
ma'am.
on probation on 2.
Right.
So it shouldn't be VOP on both counts.
Right.
So it was count 1 only for clarification. So the bond is going to be $1,000 and he's not in custody. There's no violation on count 2.
So can I just be reinstated?
No, that's not yet. Right now we're just talking about the arrest, the fact that you were arrested for the violation.
Yes, ma'am.
What happens to the probation still has to go back to the judge in that division. We just didn't want you to have to post 2 bonds because you're only really violated on 1 count.
So am I bondable right now?
It's $1,000, yeah.
That's it? I can bond out with $1,000?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So you reinstated the 2?
I did not reinstate your probation yet. You're still VOP,
No.
but you only have 1 count.
Right, but I'm able to bond out right now.
Yeah,
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
you're welcome.
That's all I wanted to know.
Okay. Okay, did we miss anybody? All right, good job, everybody. Sorry for the craziness. We are adjourned. Yeah, just making sure. Making sure my hair is ready. Just joking.
There's nothing on here, sir.
Good morning, can you hear me at the Osceola Jail?
Good morning, Honor. Yes, Your Honor.
Great.
Can you hear us?
I sort of kind of recognize who's standing there with the mask and the gloves and everything else.
Yeah.
I see Miss Dunkirk.
Good morning, Judge. Alex
Hey,
Johnson
how are
on
you?
behalf
Nice
of
to
defense.
see you. Give me one
Good to see you,
second,
too.
okay? We'll get started.
Sounds good, Judge. Thank you.
Yeah, I know him.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, unfortunately. Oh, the sheets. Okay, thanks so much.
Oh, you can be on the bottom.
That's his, okay. All right, so do they show the video on the weekends?
No.
No, right?
No. We didn't have the video, no, Your Honor.
Okay. So good morning, everybody. I'm Judge Young-Savage. You're here for initial appearances. When I call your name, come on up to the microphone that's posted to the wall. I'm going to tell you the reason why you've been detained, whether or not there's probable cause for that detention, and what the conditions of your release will be, if any. We don't have future court dates, so we don't know what those are right now, but you will get notice of your court dates. Some of you may be on demand. That means they'll be setting it down the line. But either way, keep in touch either with your lawyer or with the clerk's office when it comes to your court dates. Two things to remember that are the most important of what we're doing in here today pertaining to your rights. You have the right to remain silent. Anything that you say can be used against you. You have the right to an attorney, and if he's not a court lawyer, I will appoint one if he's qualified. If you plan to hire a private lawyer, please just let me know when I ask, because that way we don't have to get the public defenders doing work where you're going to end up not speaking with them anyway. Beyond that, we'll take everything case by case. Is it raining over there?
No.
Sounds like it's feedback, Judge. It's just a connection. I always find a little bit of humor in the fact that I have to go from Osceola to come to Orange to do Osceola. I'm working on it. It's one of my goals. So, all right.
Keep it up.
Appearances from the state, please.
Lisa Gonguerrero from State Judge.
And for the public defenders,
Alex Johnson on behalf of the defense.
from Osceola PTR.
Jennifer Dunkirk.
All right. Now, obviously, I'm trying to be respectful of the mask thing. It just makes it hard to hear. So if you all are having a hard time hearing me, please tell me. Otherwise, I also need to ask you to please speak closer to the mic than you normally would, so that we can hear you, because we are recording.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. State versus Joel Ames.
Mr. Ames? Mr. Ames is present and approaching.
Good morning. Please say your name.
Jalen.
Thank you. Mr. Amy, you were arrested for operating a vehicle without a proper DL, no valid DL. I find probable cause. He qualifies for PTR. The risk assessment sheet does not say any significant history. The court's going to release him PTR, no driving without a valid license. Wait, hold that thought. The record wasn't on. Sorry. All right. We got to do this little part again. For the record, I have advised the defendants in the Osceola jail of their right to remain silent, their right to counsel. Appearances one more time from the state, please.
Lisa Guerrero for the state.
For the public defenders.
Alex Johnson on behalf of defense.
For PTR.
Jennifer Dunster, PTR.
And Mr. Amy, say your name again.
Joel Ami.
Okay, so Joel Amy was arrested for no valid DL. The court finds probable cause. He qualifies for PTR. The risk assessment does not state any significant history. He will be released PTR, no driving without a valid license. Do you need a public defender, sir?
Yeah, I'll be taking one.
I can't hear you.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, PD will be appointed provisionally. He's got 10 days to fill out an affidavit. Thank
Yes,
you.
ma'am. Okay.
Alvin Allen.
Yes, Your Honor. Alvin Allen is present and approaching.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning, sir. Please say your name.
My name is Alvin Allen, Your Honor. God bless you.
Thank you. You've been arrested for domestic violence battery. I've read the affidavit. There is probable cause. Bond will be set at $1,000. No contact with victim. No return to shared residence. Do not possess any weapons or firearms. He does not qualify for PTR.
If I'm wrong, Your Honor, defense was going to contest probable cause on that case based on the fact that there was no indication by the report that the butcher knife was actually motioned or used in any way that was threatening, and additionally the officer did observe a video of the incident, did not observe the defendant holding the alleged weapon that was the basis for probable cause. Looks like there was only a verbal argument.
Does the state wish to be heard?
No, Judge.
Okay. At this time, your argument is noted for the record. The court finds PC. Do you need a public defender, Mr. Allen?
Yes.
PD will be appointed provisionally, 10 days to fill out an affidavit.
And, Your Honor, just
We
one
have no
other...
court date.
Hold on.
Just one other brief mention, Your Honor, is we'd be asking for one return to a residence with a law enforcement officer. He does have belongings at the residence.
One-time assist order with law enforcement accompaniment is permitted.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. Alyssa Arroyo Marrero.
Just present and approaching.
Thank you. Good morning. Please say your name. Ms. Arroyo, you were arrested on 4 different warrants for VOP. Those are all set at 0. Do you need a public defender?
Yes.
PD will be appointed provisionally, 10 days to fill out the affidavit. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Rita I'm sorry, I can't read that. Baker, Rita Baker.
She's approaching, Your Honor. She's in a wheelchair.
Thank you, no problem. Good morning, can you please say your name?
No, I'm trying to rearrange my butt.
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear that.
Just say your name.
Pardon? Rita Ellen Baker.
Thank you. Ma'am, you were arrested for a warrant on failure to appear. That bond is set at $500. I'm not taking any action in 20 CF 3397. It doesn't say that this failure to appear in any way violated that case or the conditions of release in that case. They're 2 different case numbers. One's a misdemeanor, one's a felony. And she didn't supposedly, allegedly show up for court on the misdemeanor. Do you need a public defender, ma'am, or do you already have a lawyer?
No, I don't. I don't have access to a computer, and I don't have the money to pay.
Ma'am, I'm sorry. My question was, do you have a lawyer?
No.
Do you need a public defender?
I reckon.
Is that a yes? I'm sorry, the audio connection's really bad, and so I'm not trying to be difficult, I can't hear.
She is indicating yes, Your Honor.
All right, PD will be appointed provisionally 10 days to fill out an affidavit. Thank
Thank
you.
you, Judge.
Richard Brown, it's just a really bad connection.
Yes, Your Honor, I apologize.
I'm sorry. No, it's not your fault. I was just letting you know, I'm not trying to be particular. I really can't hear.
I get you.
Good morning, sir. Please say your name.
Richard Brown Jr. Good morning.
Mr. Brown, you were arrested for false ID to law enforcement and violation of an injunction. I've read the affidavit and there is probable cause. Let me look at the risk assessment sheet. Out on bond in Orange County, 20 CF 3653. Does not qualify for PTR. Victim requests no contact. And okay. At this time, bond in count 1 will be set at 500. Bond in count 2 will be set at 2,000 plus no contact with victim. Do not go within 500 feet of her place of work or the residence. Follow all conditions of the domestic violence injunction. Do not possess any weapons or firearms. And I'm revoking your release in 20 CF 3653 and setting that at 0. Do you need a public defender, Mr. Brown?
We're setting what at 0?
The case that you're out on bond for in Orange County, I'm revoking your bond and setting it now at 0. So you're going to have to go back in front of the Orange County judge in that felony division and see what he or she is willing to do with regard to giving you a new bond. Do you need a public defender, sir?
Yes.
Judge,
He said yes? Okay, PD will be
Yes, Your
appointed provisionally. Thank you.
for the record, Judge, that case number that he's currently out in Orange County is 20 CF 13653.
Okay, thank you. It looked like I wasn't sure if that was like a stray pen mark or if it was a 1.
I had to double check myself, Judge.
That's okay, 13653 is the Orange County. 20 CF 13653. Yep, thank you. Sean Fleck.
Judge, Alex Jones from PD's office. We'd be waiving Mr. Fleck's appearance at this time. There's substantial mental health concerns here, Your Honor.
Okay. At this time, the court will address for the record that Mr. Fleck was arrested on 3 counts of failure to appear. He has bonds. The PDs will be provisionally appointed.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. Johan Gonzalez Torres.
Mr. Gonzalez-Torres is not present. He's currently in detox, Your Honor.
Okay. Do the public defenders wish to be provisionally appointed and waive his appearance?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, PDs will be provisionally appointed, and the public defenders have waived his appearance. He was arrested for tampering with evidence and possession of paraphernalia. The court finds probable cause. Bond is set at $500 in each count, and he's out on bond at 20 CF 3019. If I'm reading, Ms. Dunkirk, if I'm reading that correctly?
Yes, Judge.
And that will be revoked.
And Judge, we'd be contesting probable cause on that case. The statute requires knowledge of a trial or pending criminal investigation. The report indicated that this was in reference to a non-criminal traffic infraction of jaywalking. There was no pending criminal investigation, so we'd assert that there was no probable cause that he was altering or destroying evidence in relation to a criminal investigation. This wasn't for a civil infraction.
Thank you for that input. Let me ask the state if they have anything to add.
No, Judge.
And do you have any objection to his probable cause challenge?
Just for the physical evidence one?
He's saying that it was, they were detaining the defendant for a non-criminal infraction when they saw the alleged tampering or attempt to conceal the paraphernalia or the contraband.
Exactly.
He's
And
saying
at that
that
time,
the
there's
statute
no.
requires that it be while being investigated for a criminal action.
Exactly. Thank you, Your Honor.
Did I restate your argument correctly?
Exactly.
Is that
Yes,
what you
Your Honor.
said? Okay.
Yes.
I
if that's true, but I don't have any objections for that, though.
So then the court will find PC as to count 2 and ROR him as to count 1.
Thank you,
And
Judge.
bond will be set on count 2 at $500. 20 CF 3019 will be revoked. Thank you. Jonathan Guerra. Has anybody in Osceola, have they been identified as needing the interpreter?
I have not been given that information.
Thank you.
No.
Good morning, sir. Please say your name.
Good morning. My name is Jonathan Gale.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Guerra, you were arrested for resisting without violence, fleeing and eluding, and driving without a valid license. There is probable cause. It looks like you're out on PTR for a different driving with a no valid license charge as well. And you're supposed to be in front of Judge Epperson on January 5th for pre-trial. So bond in the resisting will be set at 500, and the fleeing at 2,500, at the new no valid at 500, and revoke 20 CT 2645 set at 0. Do you need a public defender, Mr. Guerra?
Yes, ma'am.
PD will be appointed provisionally, 10 days to fill out an affidavit.
So, excuse me, ma'am. We'll talk afterwards.
I'm sorry, hold on one second. Revoke the PTR. Oh, I'm sorry, it's a 20 CT 2645. What was your question?
I was wondering, ma'am, so will I be able to bond out if I post the bond?
You can post bond on your new law arrests, but you will not get out because your bond is revoked on your previous arrest.
All right, so. We'll talk more after. Okay. All right. Yeah.
I can't hear you.
We're going to address it afterwards, Your Honor.
Okay,
Judge, just for the record,
Jermaine
he was out
Ingram?
I'm sorry, Judge. With Mr. Guerrero, just for the record, he was out on a direct pretrial release.
Yes, that'll be
He was
revoked.
not on bond.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
His PTR is being revoked.
Okay.
Jermaine Ingram?
Yes, ma'am.
Hi, good morning. Say your name, please.
Jermaine Antonio Ingram.
Thank you. Mr. Ingram, you were arrested for possession of cocaine, possession of paraphernalia. I did read the affidavit. There is probable cause.
Miss, I was just in the drive-thru waiting for my food, ma'am.
Ms. Dunkirk, your sheet says he qualifies for PTR. Is that correct?
Yes, Judge.
Even as a transient? How are you going to have him check in?
Typically, with a transient, we have them call in. The charge itself qualifies, Judge. Did you want me to give history?
Yeah, no, I'm not going to PTR him. I'm going to set his bond at $1,000 count 1 and $100 count 2. Do you
And
need a public
Judge-
defender, Mr. Ingram?
Judge, briefly for the record, Mr. Ingram is indicating that he is not actually transient. He does have an address, if we could elicit that on the record.
All right. So if PTR can confirm a valid DL, a valid address, and a reliable means for him to check in on a weekly basis, he can be PTR'd. If you cannot confirm a valid address, then he needs to post his bond. So it's either or.
Thank you, Judge.
And either way, it's do not possess any illegal substances. There's a sheet for Ronald Jones. I guess he bonded. Did you have a Ronald Jones who bonded?
Ronald Jones?
Because I have a PTR sheet, but I don't have paperwork. Ms. Dunkirk, do you know about Ronald Jones?
Judge, I believe Mr. Jones was an added charge.
I cannot hear you.
Yeah, you're on.
Okay. Judge, I believe Mr. Jones is an added charge.
Oh, he's further down in the pack, so his sheet was in the wrong. Okay. Good morning. Please say your name.
Ronald Jones.
Mr. Jones, you were arrested for failing to register as required under Florida law. There is probable cause and doesn't qualify for PTR. Bond will be set at $1,000. Do you need a public defender?
Yes.
I think he said yes.
He did, yes, Your Honor.
PD appointed provisionally 10 days to file an affidavit. Thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
Paul Keener.
He's approaching.
Good morning, please say your name.
My name is Paul Keener.
Mr. Keener, you were arrested for burglary of a dwelling and petty theft. I've read the affidavit. Give me one moment. I have to relook at this for a second. Oh, this is the one with the bike. Yeah, it's pertaining to allegedly taking a bike off a porch, a front porch, so that qualifies as the curtilage of the property. There is probable cause. I'm gonna set bond in count 1 at $500, and in count 2, $100. Does he qualify for PTR if bonds are given?
Yes, Judge.
With PTR, no contact, no return. Do you need a public defender, Mr. Keener?
Yes,
PD will be appointed provisionally, 10 days to file an affidavit. Thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
Rodney Keys. Good morning, please say your name.
Rodney Keys, good morning.
Mr. Keys, you were arrested on a warrant for battery. The judge who issued the warrant found probable cause and gave you a bond. It's $1,000 plus no contact with the victim, no return, no weapons or firearms. Do you need a public defender?
Yes.
PD will be appointed provisionally, affidavit to be filed within 10 days. Thank you.
Judge, I'm sorry, with Mr. Keys, we actually spoke with the victim, and she advised that even though she doesn't want any contact, he may return home because she has moved.
Right, but he doesn't qualify for PTR, so I've got nobody who can verify that the house is empty, that she moves. So if the PD wants to file a motion to change that condition, we certainly can address it.
Okay, Judge.
Yeah, because normally I say PTR, if you can verify that the victim has left, then the defendant can return, but PTR doesn't qualify in this case, so I've got nobody who can check that. I need an officer of the court who tells me she left voluntarily, then I can let him back in the house. So the PDs can file a motion or a request or a joint stip between the state and the PDs. Ryan Monahan. Good afternoon, or good morning still. Please say your name.
Ryan Monahan.
Mr. Monahan, you were arrested on a warrant violation of a pretrial release condition, no contact order, domestic. There is probable cause as the judge who issued the warrant determined. Looks like you're also out on 20 CF 2674. I think that's the case number under which the no contact provision was ordered. That's still on demand with Judge Wooten. So your bond in the new charge is going to be set at $1,000 plus no contact with the victim. Your bond in 20 CF 2674 is revoked and set at 0. Do you need a public defender?
Yes, Your Honor.
PD will be appointed provisionally, 10 days to fill out the affidavit. Thank you.
Judge?
Yes?
We'd just be asking for Mr. Keys' case if he can have one return to residence with law enforcement, Your Honor.
He's going to have to talk to Judge Wooten because he was prohibited from going back to that address based on the other case.
Okay.
Yeah. You're talking about the guy I just talked to?
The one beforehand, Rodney
sorry.
Keys. Yeah, sorry, Judge.
The gentleman who PTR told me the victim may be leaving the residence.
Yes, Your Honor.
That
If we could just have...
Okay, Keys.
Yep.
Yeah, Mr.
Yes.
Keys can have a one-time assist order. He can be accompanied by law enforcement.
Thank you, Judge.
Matthew Negron. There's no sheet for him. Oh, it's a warrant, that's fine.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning, please say your name.
Matthew Thomas Negron.
Mr. Negron, you were arrested on a warrant for violation of probation. Your bond is set at 0. Do you need a public defender?
Yes.
PD will be appointed provisionally, 10 days to fill out the affidavit. Thank you. Michael Knopfsinger. Good morning, please say your name.
Michael Knopfsinger.
Thank you. Mr. Knopfsinger, you were arrested on a warrant for failure to appear. The bond is set at $2,999. Do you need a public defender?
Yes.
PD will be appointed provisionally, 10 days to fill out the affidavit. Looks like Judge Arendis is carrying on Judge Draper's tradition of doing the 2999s.
That's what I was looking at.
Thank you. I told her what that was when she first took the bench. She's like, why do some of these bonds have 999s on the end? I said, that used to be an old code to the bondsman that somebody had a failure to appear, like way back in the day. But Judge Draper had continued that on for a very long time, and Judge Arendis took over Judge Draper's division, so I guess she took that over too.
It works.
And it's allowable. There's nothing illegal about it. Anthony Norris.
Your Honor, Mr. Norris is currently in detox.
Would the public defenders like to be appointed?
Yes, Your Honor.
The PDs like to waive appearance?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, Mr. Norris was picked up on a warrant, 2 counts of failure to appear. Bonds are 1,000, count 1, 100, count 2. 10 days to fill the affidavit out for the appointment of the public defender.
Thank you, Judge.
Brandon O'Neill. Good morning, please say your name.
Brandon O'Neill.
Mr. O'Neill, you were arrested for possession of a controlled substance. There is probable cause. You meet criteria for direct PTR. I'm going to PTR you and order you to not possess or consume any illegal substances. Ms. Dunkirk, are y'all doing drug tests down there?
Yes.
All right, with random drug testing. Do you need a public defender, Mr. O'Neill?
Yes.
He indicated yes.
Okay, PD will be appointed provisionally. 10 days to fill in affidavit. I asked the question about the drug test because I was told up here they're not ordering drug tests. Is that wrong? You still have them? Okay. I'm so confused. Okay. Giovanni Ortega. I was told because of COVID it was suspended for a while, making people report. All right, we're getting a little better? Okay. Giovanni Ortega. Good morning, please say your name. Mr. Ortega, you were arrested on a warrant. I believe it was for violation of probation. It wasn't written right on the sheet that I got, but when I dug a little further, it says description VOP. And that would explain why it's a 0 bond. Do you need a public defender?
Yes.
PD will be appointed provisionally, 10 days to fill out an affidavit. Thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
Ivanson Polika.
Approaching.
Good morning. Please say your name.
Ivanson Polika.
Thank you. Sir, you were arrested for possession of a weapon or ammunition by a convicted felon. There is probable cause.
Judge, this time defense would be contesting probable cause. The alleged, if I may, Your Honor, I apologize.
No, you go ahead.
The firearm was found in the passenger side of the vehicle on the rear floorboard when the driver was, Mr. Polika was alleged to be the driver of the vehicle. When questioned about it, there's a denial of any knowledge of the firearm. There's no actual possession of the firearm in this case, so even going on constructive possession, knowledge would be needed, and there's nothing here to indicate knowledge, Your Honor.
Correct me if I misread, but my reading of this indicates that he was the only person in the car. The deputy or the law enforcement officer alleges that the firearm was not locked up or encased, was in plain view, and based on the driver's seat, the way it was reclined, it was easily accessible from the driver, and it is alleged that Mr. Polika made a spontaneous utterance of "dang, the day I brought my gun." So that is sufficient probable cause.
Yes, Your Honor.
Bond will be stayed, temporarily surrender during the pendency of the case, the firearm in question, and any firearms that he may otherwise have. PD will be appointed provisionally, 10 days to fill out an affidavit.
Thank you, Judge.
Brandon
What's the bond?
Yogel, bonded? Did I hear bonded?
No, Judge, I was just asking the bond on Politica.
Oh, sorry.
PD just advised me 4,000.
I believe the bond was stayed at 4,000, right?
Oh, yes, the last one, yes.
Yes, thank you, Judge.
Good morning, sir. Please say your name.
Brandon Jacob Yago.
Say that a little bit slower, a little bit louder.
Brandon Jacob Yago.
Thank you. Mr. Yago, you were arrested on a warrant for aggravated stalking. The judge who issued the warrant found probable cause. I'm gonna set the bond at $5,000 plus the other conditions of the bond, of the warrant, which were no contact with victim or with victim's family, no possession of weapons or firearms. Do you need a public defender?
Yes.
PD will be appointed provisionally, 10 days to file an affidavit.
Judge, would you actually consider a direct pretrial release? Mr. Yargo does not have, he only has 3 priors. No convictions.
I was not given a copy of the affidavit, so I don't know what the allegations are. And without being able to read those, I'm not comfortable releasing him on PTR, straight PTR. But the public defenders are free to file a motion for a reduction or a removal of that bond. It's fine. But I'm just going on based what this paperwork has here.
Oh, I actually think that we sent an arrest warrant over to Orange County.
Well, there isn't one. All I have is the face of the warrant. I don't have the details. Yeah.
I got you.
Same. Yeah.
All right. So I don't have court dates, Mr. Yogel. Sorry. We'll let you know when the court date is set.
Okay.
All right. And then last but not least, Braulio Arce.
We're in the process of getting him up here.
Okay.
He's a mental health. We wanted to save him till last.
I know Mr. Arce from when I was doing mental health court, and he's my letter of the alphabet, so I've seen
Yes,
him for
ma'am.
previous charges. Unless the public defender wants to waive his appearance.
Judge, if we could waive his appearance and just address Mr. Arce's case, we asked the court to take judicial notice of the cases in 17 CF 3148, 3149, 3151, and 18 CF 3434.
All right, hold on. You a little bit too fast. So
Sorry, Judge. Sorry.
That's okay. The public defender is provisionally appointed. The PDs are waiving Mr. Arce's appearance, so corrections does not have to bring him up.
Yes, Judge.
That way you guys can just radio and tell them to leave him where he's at. I know that he has in the past made claims of incompetence, so I'll ask the PD to give me those case numbers again, please.
It was 17 CF 3148, 17 CF 3149, 17 CF 3151, 18 CF 3434.
Got it. Thank you. And what is it that you wanted me to take judicial notice of?
Oh, and Judge, actually, I also have 20 CF cases, 1579, I apologize.
Okay.
I'd be asking the court to take judicial notice that the defendant has been ordered and competent to proceed in all of the above-mentioned cases, and at this time asking for Mr. Arce to be either released on his own recognizance or in the alternative, we could do PTR with mental health conditions, Judge.
The only problem is going to be is that he's out on 20 CF 1740, and then that one's going to end up being revoked, and it's going to have to be evaluated by that felony judge. So
Yes, Your Honor.
do you want me to, because if I release him on the new law arrest, he gets no credit, or you can address the new law with the CF case, because if incompetence is the issue, the misdemeanor judge is going to have to give up jurisdiction and authority to the felony judge anyway.
Yes, Your Honor.
I mean, if I grant your request, then he is effectively released on one, but not released on the other.
Yes, Your Honor. And then in that case, the defense will be filing a motion on all the cases in the
Okay.
appropriate courtroom.
Thank you. So bond will be stayed on the new charge, which he was arrested for simple battery. And the court's going to revoke 20 CF 1740 and temporarily set it 0. And then I'll let you all get in front of the felony judge, hopefully, and figure out what's the right way to address those releases.
Judge,
Excuse me?
Was he out on bond or PTR?
He was out on, I'm not sure. Was he out on, he was on PTR, so it'll be a PTR revocation. It's a violation of his PTR conditions to have been arrested for a new law violation. So it was PTR.
for the record, there's 7 cases.
There's 17 what?
There's 7 cases. He is now currently out on PTR with mental health conditions.
Oh, I see that.
As of, I believe, November 18th.
So 20 CF 17, I have them right here.
Yeah,
I'll give you the sheet, and they're right here. But there was only, before I walked into the courtroom, I didn't have the risk assessment sheets. I only had the out on bond sheet. So and it only has one case number on it. So I didn't know that there were all these other ones until I got the risk assessment. But yes, there are multiple cases that he's out on PTR with mental health conditions.
Yes,
so those
Judge.
are all going to be revoked. And for the record, just to say them, 20 CF 1740, 1719, 1717, 1620, 1595, 1579, and 1676.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you. All right.
Thank you, Judge.
That's all we have for Osceola. Nice to see you all. See you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow.
All right.
Judge, what did you do with Yajo? Or did
I set a bond.
Oh, I'm sorry. How about Ronald Jones? Ronald Jones is the last one I had.
I don't remember. Ronald Jones. Which one was Ronald Jones?
The failure to register.
Oh, I stayed his bond.
Okay.
Right? I believe I stayed. No, wait. If it was a 0, no, I didn't leave it at a 0. 1,000.
Okay.
Yeah. No, yeah, that's not one that you can leave at 0 without some very specific findings. All right, we got it all? I think so. Holler at me if you need anything. I'll be back in a little bit.